Hello and welcome to another VOD review. This time, obviously, Overwatch League is done, but we actually had a lot of Contenders finals happen recently that just sort of are worth looking. Obviously, Contenders finals, not a lot of people watch Contenders, but the finals are always worth looking at. One of the main reasons, especially in the off-season, is a lot of the players that are playing in these matches are some of the highest prospects going into Overwatch League's next season. So, for Redbird Esports, we have a lot of familiar names if you've watched Contender stuff on this channel before, if you just watched NA Contenders. We have Hydron and S9MM. I don't know if... I actually don't know how you say his name, if it's supposed to be like Sam or if it's just S9MM. I don't know. I have no idea. Reiner, Iron, Luke Mino, and Ultraviolet. I actually don't know who of everyone here is of age, because there's been a common trend that's been existing in North American Contenders has been like a lot of the best players in the region haven't been of age. Sam? It's just Sam? Okay, sweet. I thought it was Sam, but I'm just confirming before I just start calling him Sam. But most of them are coming of age now. So everyone's really starting coming of age, especially a lot of the higher prospects, and they are slowly getting to that point. Ultraviolet is, I believe he's coming of age. Same thing with Hydron, right? Because last time we looked at the average age of this team was like 16, 17, and now they're thinking. So let's go Hydron. Let's actually look it up. Just to be confirm all this kind of stuff. Hydron. Actually, let's just, you know what? Let's just go to Redbird Esports. Hydron is 17, but will be of age in coming the season. Sam is already of age. Ryan is of age. I remember he tried to get in last year. Iron is... we don't have his age on here. I actually haven't really heard of Iron. Luke Mino's been around for a while, is 18 as well, and Ultraviolet is about to come of age. Oh, so he's just coming of age going into the season. Ultraviolet is rumored to be going to Atlanta Reign, along with OJEE, OG, a different, not the OG you think you know, a different one. So, as we all know, time will tell. Iron posted LFTR. Yeah, I think all of these players are going to be looking for a team. So let's look at this. OG our support. Let's go. Oh, what the? All right. Wait, what? All right, here we go. I didn't realize this whole team was Korean. I didn't. Really? That shows how much attention I pay. Because I remember seeing QOQ and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize the whole team was Korean for Boston Uprising. Okay. This team has changed a lot since I last watched a Boston Uprising game. Alright, well, here we are. So there's you should know a couple of these players from the history of it. QOQ, Stellar, and all that kind of stuff. Think they play on ping? Interesting. So they play on NA Contenders, but they are all playing on ping? Interesting. That seems... I think Stellar is in NA? Well, we'll see. But that doesn't really matter at this point. As I said, let's just get into the review. Let's break it down. This happened recently. Let's check it out. I will be honest with you. I have not watched any NA Contenders in a while since the season. When the Overwatch League seasons are in, I just don't have time to really watch a lot of Contenders. So I haven't watched this season of Contenders recently. So that's why we're going back to watch these finals. So I don't know a lot about these teams, these play styles, or even what's meta. So this is a learning experience for everyone. So let's get into it.
In 2021, it begins on Control Center. It begins with
Alright, Control Center, as we always expect. Redbird's going to start with the Junkrat, while Boston Uprising starts with the May. Good old-fashioned brawl in Control Center. Yeah, I know Redbird is essentially what American Tornado was.
And the speed is called by Custa. They go towards Uprising, still playing behind Finale, who's looking for that May isolation wall.
Because these players have been playing together for a while.
Be your key target itself and go for the charge from that. Uprising
Only tanks are still on ping? Okay.
their shield, capping that point. Redbird trying to deny that.
Just absolute chaos. Oh, nice pin. Oh, yeah.
Red charge, but the lamp of simple saves it's out. And Redbird Redbird lose their captain, but they're still hanging around, playing around the ant matrix, seeing if they can catch one off guard as a photon barrier emerges from
This is actually feels so much like Goats. Like the back and forth, but so much sustain.
Playstyle moving through. Ryan is going to be a bit more effective though. He's returned from a fray, and Fixer thinks it's still winnable, so puts down the sound barrier element. But Reiner will be able to slam in conjunction. I don't think this.
That was a lot of ults.
Redbird
Good play.
looking back.
That's insane. Uprising
Rhino created a lot of space, but obviously dying was kind of brutal. Rhino on ping is brutal. You can make it work, but there's definitely some like blocking shadows and stuff like that is kind of dodgy.
shield.
Hydron's just done so much in terms of damage. Sam too, more than twice the damage of Finale right now. Just
Yeah, like I know like the official American Tornado had like OG, Kaluge, Speedily. Yeah, that's true.
And now Redbird will be able to control and engage.
That was like the team that we watched last time. Like, because I think we watched the last Contenders finals or a Contenders finals last year in the offseason. He's still holding the shatter. I would have shattered 3 minutes ago. Oh, and this is why he's a good Reinhardt and I'm not. Oh, that's a great Blizzard. That was such a good Blizzard by Finale.
Can't do anything about it. It's Sal plus the self-destruct is the end of Redbird on this.
Yo, what's up, Liz? Happy reviewer clock. It's game time.
Slam and expensive for both teams when the dust clears.
Yeah, that's not a great fight for Redbird. They used so many ults for that fight. They do have a sim wall though. Oh, what?
A little bit more of an affirmative. What Fixer die to a symmetric. Just clears. It's the academy team who have.
How does the Lucio
on top?
die? I don't know how you die there. That's really bad.
What Fixer die to a Symmetra turret? What? This is impossible. This is unconventional. I dislike it a lot.
Good sim wall. Good counter pin by Itzel. Oh, he didn't really. Wow. I don't think he realized the TP was going to be that far back, but it still worked. It's a good TP shot over here. He needs to fix that problem. Oh my god.
Took advantage of the advantage.
Get out.
There was a Lucio missing from Fixer. No speed for Uprising Academy. The only burst mobility that they could muster was the usage of that teleport, and only Itzal really went through. Redbird once again going to be a defensive position, and this time there's no photon barrier from Stella to try and carry forth up.
Oh, I think he might have pulled that a little early.
This tire was really far away, so Uprising Academy.
Oh, good wall as well.
To back away, they even May-walled the entry. They thought the tire was coming.
That was a small wall.
Really good spatial awareness from Uprising, so they dodge a bullet now to take one later.
I beat aggression. Oh, good wall. Oh, the Ryan could get out of there. The May ult was not as good as it was last time, but it still catches Rana. Lamp was a little late. Redbird should be good though, yeah. Oh, that's such a good sim wall. That's so hard to deal with if you're Uprising Academy.
To provide some protection for Redbird to defend this at 99% in overtime. As Uprising, they have their own photon barrier, but they don't have the whole team.
Oh, the ambitious shatter. He was fucking spamming Q, just waiting to get that ult. Dude, Itzel's fucking reactions on these counterpins are nuts. They make it look so easy to counterpin, you know?
Uprising Academy. They tried the damn thing again around this May, and it's maybe closer than the first.
Alright, go to the next one. Uprising Academy are going to play the Rhine Brawl again with the Mace, with the Sim Reaper, while Redbird's gonna play the Dive, like the 6-man Brawl Dive comp.
Face each other. Uprising Academy took this particular point, but played around the Hammond. This is different. They have a Reinhardt. They have a.
Yeah, so like Redbird needs to run them down at some point. But they should be able to get the cap. Actually, they probably can just stall on the point and just hope they don't die more than anything. Cap the point and then go for a sim play, sim TP play. Ooh, a little too spicy by Finale.
The Matrix was not there. Finale falls. Uprising Academy lose a bit of damage, but Stellar, he can make up for it. The Matrix of QQ will be used to save him. Simple's Coalescence used to invigorate Uprising Academy, who continue to brawl, and no control of this objective.
Oh baby, the Echo Diva, the classic.
Who would be the melee king? Reiner claims themselves. Fixer puts down the Samba in the midst of all of this. A reinvigoration of Uprising Academy once more, but bounce back.
I don't know what's happening. If you expect me to tell you what's happening, I don't know. Oh, that's a bad pin.
No friends, only a charged to their name. And the focus
That sim wall is also really bad.
that isn't blocking anything on
Yeah, that's such a bad sim wall.
Key thing as
Uprising Academy kind of dropped the spaghetti a little bit there with Finale. And losing that first fight, it's going to be hard.
lived. And
Yeah, they're switching Sombra. I don't know if I like the Sombra. I don't think Sombra is going to offer as much as you want. Like, obviously the EMP is big, but I feel like in the neutral, you're just not going to get enough from it.
Now Luke Mino has the advantage on the sound barrier as well. Stellar is going to be moving over.
Oh, well, never mind, unless you just kill Hydron.
They might have been able to get a hack on Hydron and then win the 1 versus 1 after.
time to
This is
go.
go time.
it is go time, 6 versus 5 while Hydron is gone. You want to take this while you can.
Good bait.
QQ right through the middle of the map. Force out the sound barrier and the fate of Ultraviolet. Luke Mino is hacked. Uprising Academy, they execute. They got the coalescence. They got the picks.
Well,
Reiner can't
the
do
Sombra
it.
worked.
And there's not enough Matrix for Iron to really save himself or anyone else. But they are going to dance around this point, and they are going to...
Whenever I watch Contenders, they play worse than I expect. Really? I feel like I see some really good things. Because, like, I don't watch many games other than, like, the finals. And I think the finals are good. Like, I think these two teams would probably have been, like, 15th, 16th in now. Like, I think they would be able to, like... They might be potentially, like, in their current forms, like, they're, like, around London. I would say they'd be, like, around London, Vancouver, Valiant. Like, they could probably beat those teams, or at least be competitive with those teams.
I think that's
I feel like
hacked Luke Mino.
the thing that I think Contenders does differently is I think they get punished for less. And that's why it feels very chaotic, is they don't get punished as much as you do in the Overwatch League. And that's, like, the biggest, like... step up when you go from like Contenders to Overwatch League is like everyone's just plays tighter and faster and like you get punished for things that you just always get away with, you know, in Contenders. So that's why it feels a lot spicier.
Trying to skate away, or potentially just give him a quick knock with the melee. Redbird, how do they retake this? Taking out Stellar is a great start.
This feels pretty standard for the minor league version of Major League of a Sport. Yeah, exactly.
To bring up the tempo, but they've got to be wary of Finale.
As I said, like I think you'll see probably 5 or 6 of these players get picked up in some capacity.
And Reiner is going after Itzal with a vengeance.
Yeah, oh, wow, this is disrespect.
We can't even look at I don't even think that's PG-13.
The camera can't get there.
Dude, Itzel just got murdered by Reiner.
Close, Redbird. I mean, wouldn't engage after killing Stellar.
Ryan is like, look away. You won't want to see what's about to happen.
What's up, license bucket?
It isn't rated safe for YouTube streams, I'll tell you that much.
EMP.
EMP from
Oh, Death Blossom. That was pretty well organized. I feel like Redbird is just not ready for this, though.
It isn't rated safe for YouTube streams, I'll tell you that much.
Maybe they weren't expecting it so aggressive, but yeah, they should have been. That felt too easy, right? They just EMP, TP the Reaper in, and Death Blossom. Like,
As soon as either of these teams get a single pick, they engage so quickly, and it's so lethal.
ooh, Redbird will get picked up. I don't know if all. Maybe you're right, all of Redbird, because like if we really do have like Florida Mayhem going Western, Houston Outlaws wanting to pick up a lot more players, Atlanta Reign going Western, like there will be a lot more players picked up from NA Contenders than we're probably used to. So it really comes down to how many teams try to pick up Western talent, right? Because over the last couple of years, that hasn't, like we've been trending more and more Korean, and people have been picking up more and more Korean players.
On the defense.
Yo, Supti, thank you very much for Prime Gaming sub.
Luke Mino is down. Redbird really hurting. They're getting hit by a wave of ultimate.
Dude, this Reaper is doing so much work.
Primal, the coalescence, the sound barrier. Uprising just
I'm a platonic Luke Mino sim and I have been for years.
runs into White Room. Now you have Hydron.
Alright, well, Liz, you would know this question. Who's better, OJEE or Luke Mino on the main support?
Go to the point to count heads.
I feel like I have to say OJEE every time because otherwise people are going to think, but I'm going to start calling him OG.
Forces, but Ryan has been forced to retreat.
Man,
Ultra
both our level.
He wants a couple of free heals here to get closer to that nano
OG.
playmaking potential. That's a huge anti onto Itzal, QOQ, and Fixer all alone.
But Luke Mino's up there, okay.
Destruct to give some space to Uprising Academy. QOQ back into mech. All 6 of Uprising here. Reiner missing. An advantage for Uprising.
Dude, Uprising Academy has no chill when they're playing this comp. They're just fucking going. And that's kind of how they have to play it. I was doubting the Sombra.
But someone we forgot about is Reiner and that Primal Rage and Hydron too.
Like, I was not expecting him to get this much value on the Sombra, but the Sombra's been getting hella value. They win pretty much every EMP fight they get, and he's getting it quite quick.
Gets fire for maybe the last time of this round.
Different type, same good. Ah, okay.
Finale has a Death Blossom. Soundbar from Fixa to enable their
Ooh.
defense.
There's no way Uprising Academy lose this, right? That's a good hack.
They're scrapping.
Dude, he copies the Sombra and then cancels the... Oh, that's not a great EMP, though.
As Sam's was at a second EMP in this duplicate either way.
Nah, okay, they're not gonna get...
The 2K, it's out with the third. Redbird warded away, and we're going into round 3.
There was a moment with that nano echo that Redbird, there was a chance that they could have turned it, but the point is locked down tight by Uprising Academy.
Pronounce it OG? You mean like Ouija? Like what? How do you pronounce OUHJEE? Ouija?
We're heading over to Night Market where it's going to be all about the teleporters.
Can I just, is it fine if I just call him Ouija from now on?
Can Sam
Luigi board?
finally overwhelms the support of Redbird because the damage differential is going to be so great with a Doomfist versus
An OG board? While a Luigi board? Alright.
Doomfist, if you can.
Alright, so we're gonna get another brawl round, but this time with the Ryans. Sam's gonna be on the Doomfist. I don't like this Doomfist pick. Not at all, even a little bit.
For either.
It feels like you're gambling, right? And you're just sort of hoping you punch the shit out of someone. And if you don't punch the shit out of someone, you just lose. Well, he punched the shit out of somebody.
Finale wasn't in range. Uprising, their backs are against the wall. They missed the pick onto Sam.
Yeah, if they kept the Junkrat alive, it would have been fine. Even then.
Exposed, not staying behind the shield of Reiner, who is regenerating it.
Well, then they switched to Doomfist. Now I don't even know what to believe. I don't like the Doomfist. I feel like the Doomfist is just
Sam goes after the supports while it's out.
too inconsistent.
And this is perfect timing for Redbird to take the point.
I'm a Doomfist hater, so maybe that's just me.
smart.
Made it work, and he has all, like... Well, he fucked. First I questioned the Sombra, now I question the Doomfist, and the Doomfist pounds. I am surprised no one has been playing the Mei. I feel like Mei is so good against these comps, and would probably fix a lot of the problems that they're having with the Doom. Sam's probably just gonna pound on Doomfist now, though.
Positioning. You don't want to get too aggressive here, but you could also block Sam
When did this match happen? Like 4 days ago, I think it was?
engages into your team.
October 8th? 5 days ago?
They TP behind Redbird and wall themselves off.
God, I hate Doomfist. God, I hate Doomfist.
Sam has found 2 kills.
Well played on this Doomfist, making me look like a fool.
Over HP, still gets out. The lamp was dropped by Ultraviolet to ensure his safety. And Redbird, they dodge the
Who won this, by the way? Spoilers!
so well.
It was all about winning that first fight.
I'm pretty sure it was Redbird, right? 4-2?
Sam engages. Their number one
Yeah.
target is
Redbird wins 4-2.
allow for that Symmetra to survive. They just do so much damage. But now the Symmetra's gone. They've moved over to the Reaper instead, which can brawl out.
Alright, so let's see how they get value with the Doom now that he's not in there.
Also more prone to being just neutered by the Reinhardt and Diva.
Neutered.
Their use from Fixa, it's out got below 50% HP. So you
Oh, that's a problem.
It's out most of Redbird on their knees, but Uprising are so low. It's out to keep the shield up.
I don't know what's happening.
Destruct. Well, maybe push away. Both maybe
What is this game right now?
But who remains on this
The Sim?
Uprising Academy Hydron is too low. And
No way Hydron lives to tell the tale of this, right? Yo, that's crazy.
reinforcements
Well played.
helped Hydron live and Redbird keep the point.
Hydron spacing just so good, taking advantage of the fact that that shield health would regenerate all by itself, Lemon, if only they could stop themselves being damaged for a couple of seconds. And now, it's do or die for Uprising Academy. 5% stands between Redbird and getting the advantage in this series.
Need this Blizzard to be big and iron. He's off on coast side. Finale finding the perfect moment. Drops it right on his own main tank's feet to stop Hydron and anyone TPing behind Uprising. It's a great Blizzard.
Wow,
And the
they're actually gonna get away with this. The Blizzard, like, really clutching this one out.
good ice block. Dodge the uppercut of this Doomfist. Sam
Blonk.
emerges. You
Blonk.
can stop his healers though. Sam isn't getting any help.
Good Finale's fucking kind of pounding on this Mei.
Uprising will win a decision.
Uprising can hold this now with the Mei.
Defensive advantage, Lemon. That's exactly what they wanted. This lets you get so much more value out of this Mabel when you're playing against people with limited mobility. But how do you make it work?
Yeah, Redbird can definitely get swept here.
Can make this engagement so much easier for Reiner, but then you've got to communicate about the wall early on.
Giving a lot of space. They got to be prepared for this.
Ready for the sound.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that was too early.
Oh, man.
I don't really like what Uprising Academy did here. Oh, okay, well, they just froze the shit out of the Rhino and then shattered.
Finish off top.
That's the second time they're just freeze the Rhino, then
They didn't know who to look at. And a great May.
that's really bad for Redbird as well, because they used their only beat that they had.
Uprising.
Simple sent out for snipe of the amplification matrix.
Feast or famine type like Sparkle.
Downfield so that Stellar could
He has no chill. He is just running it down as May.
That's some great heads-up play from Simple, where Baps will usually just put it down for themselves so they can heal on through it. Hydron, what's the decision with the TP, mate? Seems like they might just decide to TP to the back of the point once they're on the same verticality, and that seems to be where Sam has placed himself.
There's the TP.
Oh, DV. Oh, what the fuck?
What?
Oh, yeah, that's a good diva bomb, though. And this is sort of what I was saying, and this is why I think the Mei, like, is better. So let's go back here, right? Yo, what's up, Matt? Like, the Mei just really, like, isolates so many targets. I actually don't know what he did with that wall there, but it worked. Redbird forced the window as well. Oh no, it's falling apart for Uprising.
Hydron has had to give up on the Symmetra. Reaper versus Reaper now. May versus Doomfist. Redbird have the advantage when it comes to their tank ultimates. Can they find the same value that QOQ did? Can they find that double kill off the back of one of
Yeah, Matt, give me money.
They set it up. Would it be a charge? Would it be a slam? Could they make no TP?
Oh! Oh, wow. Are they not going to kill the Ryan? Oh, my God. No. Chill. Just, yeah. I thought Itzel was going to run. Damn, that's so sad for Redbird. I feel like they were playing, like they had, I feel like they tried to win every fight. You know what I mean? They get led into that false sense of security that they can win each fight. So that what they did is they staggered every single ult. So they lost every team fight, but they were trading even ults. So what happened is it felt like they never had a good fight once they came out. And I think they also needed to switch off the Doom earlier. Like, it obviously farmed at the beginning, but I think it's a lot better defensive because you can choose the tempo of when you want to go in. But when you're attacking, I feel like it's very hard to get those angles and you sort of get forced. Like, they can just peel or just ignore you and run them down. So I think if they just reset their ult economy at some point and just like, especially when you're 99-0, if they just banked ults, like when they used that sim wall, they could have held on to that. When they used the beat, when the other team used the beat, they could have held on to that. Like, there's a couple of ults they probably could have held on to. Like, obviously hindsight's a lot easier. Like, they potentially could have won those, but yeah. Can't blame them. Almost went winless. Wait, what are you talking about?
QOQ playing on the left-hand side now. They're not playing that split defense anymore.
Sam's like, you want a tango, Stellar? You sure about that? But this will be a duel I'm interested for. And now there's that split defense from Uprising Academy again. Sam gets the dash
Genji.
over to the cart, and now you have
Wait. What are we doing here? Sorry, I was looking away for that. Genji.
Yes, look at this. QOQ playing on.
Genji Bat Brig. Hanzo double shield. Why the Genji? And I guess the Brig is to deal with the Tracer, but I feel like it's going to be hard to play Brig. I feel like the Brig Genji are going to be hard to play. Anti-Sniper? Yeah, but they're not really playing a sniper. Like, if they were playing a Widow, I would understand the Genji a lot more. But they're not playing the Widow, they're playing the Tracer. I feel like the Tracer can just mark the Genji. Because the blades aren't really going to get a lot of value. Not without a Nana, with the Nano, and also against their comp, like they can probably just use Trance for it every time. A lot of people play Genji in the double and shield in Contenders. Really? It's interesting. I'd love to see how it works. So I hope Sam stays on it. Because I was wrong about the Sombra, and the Doomfist did better than I thought it would in the Brawl as well, so...
And Sam's just going to take point for a moment with that reflex. Redbird now, they have the momentum, but they need to not fall into the same pit.
Genji's deflect? I guess that kind of makes sense. That you just, like, you use the deflect, like you sort of use Sigma hands and just reflect the damage. I haven't seen him use it like that, really, though, right? Hydron swag on Tracer? Yeah, Hydron's kind of a bowler.
Maybe a dragon strike from Hydron. This Halt is getting him so close to it. And the fight back from Uprising is depending on QOQ to maybe get a gravitic flux, but Sam has his blade.
That's that fight done.
It's so hidden. He still slices and dices through the defense, and Redbird.
It feels like maybe the benefit to Genji is they're so mobile and can play such heavy high grounds that like it feels like Sam's able to move around a lot, especially like less on the first point, maybe on the second point. I could see the Genji getting even more value because he can just like bounce between high grounds.
I spent too much time around NA as I've been infected. Redbird, they've got to be. They didn't fall into a pitfall. They didn't let Uprising Academy get their footing back at the end of A. But that's a big hole. Big Imovo, Ultraviolet. They get caught because they sacrifice themselves for their tanks.
The Immo still saved Reiner and Iron, but look how slow it is to heal them with just Lucamino. And Redbird, they tried to stuff them, and that's what they do. They always extend and deny space, but that was such a good dragon from Victoria to help them stabilize. Now they have control of the high ground. Hydron is separated from the flock, and Stellar is so close to finishing them off, but thank God for Reiner and Iron getting back.
Yeah, Iron's almost omnipotent when it comes to this peeling and intercepting multiple fights. It's not getting aggressive with the supercharger. That's well within the grasp of so many people to take down. What? That's so weird.
I don't like this Zen Brig as well. I don't like Fixer switching to Brig. I feel like trying to play double shield with Brig Zen is like suicide. Like they're just not going to have enough healing to deal with the amount of damage that Redbird's probably about to do.
From the defense, Uprising Academy doing a big injury to Redbird, but they rallied up, quite literally. Lucamino makes the call, a great halt, and a pick. Stellar gone. Iron overwhelmed on the front line. He only have one shield. Reiner has a Discord orb on him. QQ trying to brawl, but the damage of Sam and Hydron at different angles.
Oh, that's going to be a big dragon. That's a problem for them. Because the Hanzo Zen are just going to get phased out of this fight. And that sort of goes back to what I'm saying, right? Like, it just doesn't feel like they have the sustain. Something tells me he swaps off to Trank. Well, it's more on the Brig. I don't think the Brig needed to switch. But then now they're going Bat Brig. Yeah, baby, they just wanted to go Bat Brig.
Sorry, you wouldn't get it.
Oh my god. Stop talking about your ex in front of me.
That's a nasty shot there. I can't believe that Victoria hit that. But this is the hardest area of the map to conquer. Redbird Esports can already be happy with the amount of progress they've made, but they still have 4 minutes to continue rolling on forward. And Reiner's decided to swap over to a wrecking ball.
God, I love Lomond. Yeah. They do a good job.
Onto lower ground, I imagine.
Get a juicy pile drive for the Sam Blade. It's a naked one.
Yeah, I feel like the Blade here is just going to be the bait. I think you trade the rally for the Blade. And just like hope you can get maybe one. Flux in. Okay, so they trade the Flux for the rally. So Sam just keeps the Blade, right?
As he still wanted to get closer. Sam doesn't want to take that risk, but Hydron was on an off angle, rocked his socks off by QOQ, and Redbird have lost a lot of steam.
That pick onto Hydron is so important then, because it means that there's time to get back to the immortality field for Simple. QOQ on top of all of that is going to avoid the accretion.
Feels like there's a lot of ults going off with not a lot of follow-up. You know what I mean? It feels like everyone's just using ults to use ults.
This is Medusa. Don't look her in the eyes, man. You'll just die. Or Ultraviolet will, I guess, too. Hydron. Body shot onto Simple. Immortality out. Sam, once that's done with...
Yeah, like Sam held this Blade for so long, and they used a Flux, they used a rally, they used a window before he even pulled it, and he just pulls it eventually.
But Redbird staring down the barrel of C with 2.5 minutes.
Sam knows if you need a nano for your Blade, you are simply a lesser Genji. Well, you were studying the nanos and the cheeses. He was studying the Blade. Redbird have made their way into the fortress. They have control of the high grounds. Hydron has a perch from which to play, and down come the mines on top of it all. Can they even touch Simon?
Redbird are just on the cart, but they needed to focus down the supercharger. It's still active for...
Oh, they're not gonna get this, are they? Dude, Stella's in fucking Narnia, dude.
Stella's looking for a pulse bomb. Sam kills 2, and Redbird are all over this cart. Itzal is the one stalling, which leaves QOQ behind.
The Genji got a lot of work done. Like, Uprising Academy did not have an answer to this Genji. Like, they just could not stop him from just, like, being annoying. He's making me a Genji fan in the comp. I feel like if Stella just marked Sam, though, I feel like he would win in the neutral, right? Because that's usually what happens when Traces play against Genjis. They just think, because it's not like they're playing a Zen either. Right? They're playing like Brig, they're playing Brig Bap, so it's like kind of hard to heal.
Rather an early anti here from Simple.
If they can even get out of spawn, I mean, Redbird making sure they keep an eye on both.
Alright, so now they play the Brian Brawl.
Either one, but using the payload as shelter as Victoria. Man, just gets pushed by Iron, and
I don't like Uprising Academy's comp against this. I feel like they don't win in the long run.
When he's well protected, Iron can overextend like that.
Like, they don't have enough damage to get through the healing, so they're kind of relying on, like, Hanzo to get picks.
So any pick that Uprising gets,
Or, like, the Nano Winston.
Iron's mech is gone. There's a lot more freedom now for Victoria, as well as easier nades for Simple. They can't be eaten. They're just going to dive straight on towards the backline right here. Reiner, the second he turns around, slept and executed.
Reiner, I mean, that's the second time he's been slept too, but the first time he's been executed. And it just falls like that. Domino.
Alright, there he goes.
One without Reiner. Nothing much Redbird can do. And no initiator for these fights. So Uprising, they break out.
Don't look at the Ana. Look at me. Uprising Academy. Almost wholesale lifting strategies from Overwatch League. The old classic double bubble. It's been a while since it was in vogue, but it seems to be just...
Want to turn it up a little? I don't like having it too loud because then it feels like I'm trying to like talk over the casters and stuff like that.
That's a great pick. And the bio hit Reiner, and it's really tried to disengage. He kind of went aggro because he thought he had primal. And you can use that.
Alright. Oh, that wasn't great.
From Stellar misses, Reiner blocks it.
He doesn't have recall as well. Is he just gonna die?
They're going after QOQ, but QOQ got nanoed by Simple. Had enough
Yeah, and like here's the problem with Uprising Academy is they're not gonna get as many fights as they want. Like Redbird still has so many ults to work with.
You're gonna need more than 50% when you got all these members of Redbird bearing it down upon you. Uprising Academy have lost the initiative. They've lost their momentum, but they do have a Graviton. Not much to combo it with though. They're just going to use the Graviton potentially in the middle of one of these fights to force out an Immortality Field or to catch someone who overextends, ideally Hydron.
How does the Ana die? Like, what did they just do?
Graviton, not much to force out an Immortality Field or to catch someone who overextends, ideally
Oh, he gets... I actually don't even... He gets hit by everything. He caught everything. Ugh, this doesn't look good. Did you just not notice? I think he didn't think the turrets were going to be... I think he misjudged where the turrets would be.
And all you gotta do is run her down, and it's important that Fixa keeps QOQ safe by speeding her in and out.
Needs a lot of babysitting, that Zarya. She may look tough, but in the end, she just...
Yeah, that's what I actually don't like that about the Zarya as well. The Zarya needs a lot of babysitting, but they don't have a lot of healing with the Lucio Ana. So they don't have the damage to play fast, but they also don't have the healing to play fast. So it's like...
The shatter from Reiner, as soon as it's out left, the kid's alone. Reiner drops the shatter. It was a nice, good separation. I didn't see like a full commit from Redbird. They dropped the Blizzard right in between Uprising, but... Uprising have warded away the storm for now. They get hit by a...
Oh, the Zarya gets caught by that. Oh, and the grab is awful. Oh, no. QOQ.
Trying to hold the cart and...
Oh, this has been a bit of a fumble by the Uprising Academy.
To that self-destruct, they just threw it into the midst of nowhere, and no one got caught.
I don't like their comp. I think their comp is like literally running uphill. They have to hope that they can get a ton of value, but I just think it's unlikely. Like, so now they gotta like nano the Rhine in and hope it goes for gold. Don't get it eaten. Simwell. Simwell's okay. It looks like they'll cap. I think Redbird were a little too aggressive there. I don't think they were ready for that nano and that dragon. If they had just peeled back and then dropped the Simwell, they probably would have been in a good spot. But they let Uprising Academy get the drop on them with the Lucio nano. Like, that dragon did so much damage. Oh, that's also not great. They went to contest. That is also, I think, greedy to contest. I am definitely starting to get the feeling that Redbird thinks they can win every fight.
They can claim this forward space very effectively. Even Simple's moving forward. The real danger there was for Uprising Academy, they could have met Redbird with no ultimates available. And without that ultimate on the Ana...
What makes a good sim wall? Something that can be used by everyone at multiple different parts of the map. Like, the problem with that wall is it was too far to the right, so therefore people couldn't disengage with the sim wall. They could only really engage and then back into that corner.
Done the same thing. Throw it in that right room. A Maywall from Stellar behind Reiner. It's out with the execution, but the Blizzard from
Oh, that dragon is good again.
And Victoria, the Dragon Strike through the room, flushes out the rats from the sewer, and Redbird are on the ground, but they don't have, I don't think they have their main tank. Well, they're all scattered from each other, so it's about maybe just finding any picks you can.
Yeah, and this all goes back to them trying to recontest first point. Like, it feels like they're just trying to force everything and expect not to get punished, you know?
No matter what, they just want to survive, but they use Maywalls from
But they lose second point for essentially free. Took them a minute and a half to get through it.
Redbird and Uprising are doing a fantastic job now.
Oh, that is true. I was like, what is that noise? I do have Overwatch. Thank you. Oh. Hello? There you go.
Redbird now, they are keen to try and get a fight super early so they can try and initiate.
Alright, this is an okay first fight. Oh, that's a good dragon. Bomb. Dragon.
Oh, not the sound of self-destruct. Just puts it. Yeah, but his shield is pretty low, and Reiner's is too after soaking up that self-destruct, so it's about the Reiner mind games. The Blizzard, though, the Maywall. Did Vincent just boot them out?
That was a really good Maywall by Sam. Good eat by Iron as well onto that dragon. I think that dragon would have spelled defeat, but I think they're already going to lose anyway.
Much that the rest of Redbird can do. They're sitting ducks. They keep getting Maywalled out of their exit route. And QQ locks in a 3K. Victoria with 2. And
That's not bad for Redbird because that costs Uprising Academy, Mail, Beat, Shatter, Dragon to win the fight in this front half. Like, you take that 100%. If they can get another fight, like, on this bridge, they're in a good spot. Like, and they have so many ults to work with as well. Like, they can just use Dragon to close the distance and then just, like, get a really good wall.
How are you going to set it up? Maybe see Sam go for an
Fully deserves thing. Victoria's been getting a lot of dragons here. Oh.
another great Maywall from Stellar, but Reiner hits him with.
How did they fuck this fight up?
for an early freeze. We'll have Hydra on full.
I think they're trying to... I don't think they need to take the fight here, right? Like, couldn't they... I feel like if they wait for the cart to get, like the tanks to work up here, then they can engage really well with the dragon and the wall. But by trying to go early, it feels like they're sort of playing into Uprising Academy's trap. So their backline can play behind this pillar. They're in a good spot. It's hard to wall Itzel for Sam. And what happens is, like, exactly what you see, right? They just nano the Rhine in.
Another great Maywall from.
And then the dragon, all of a sudden, the dragon doesn't hurt anyone because they can play around everything. So it feels like Redbird kind of played into the hands of Uprising Academy there. Just once again trying to force the fight too fast.
Another 2K for the off tank. And Uprising Academy. It's fight after fight for them. They keep this momentum up.
How do Ultraviolet and OG compare to Iris and Masa? We don't know. Like, it's very hard to compare how these players are playing in, like, Contenders and stuff like that to Overwatch League players, right? Because they're playing completely different teams.
But their sightlines are mostly being blocked right now in order to keep it.
Oh, this is a good re-engage. I actually like this re-engage. Oh, that's not good for Reiner.
Okay, but Redbird
Oh, Sam's mail gets eaten.
Okay, but Redbird
And he gets hit by the bomb. It's a good boot by the Lucio, but...
Uprising needs to finish this quickly because they don't have the resources and they have very
Uprising Academy in trouble now.
Uprising counting on this Blizzard from Stellar, but he dies from Hydron as he just got it. And Uprising cannot finish at this point, but they still have their
Legion Victus, thank you very much for the Prime Gaming sub.
Keen on giving up the Widowmaker right now. Post themselves up in this window. It's going to be down to Victoria to try and beat them out. Uprising Academy have another chance to try and finish this round, Lemon. But not many tools to do it with. Stella, thankfully.
Okay, they're stepping up. They have the mail still. Hydron on Widow is a greedy pick, I think.
Noms and noms and noms.
Oh, and Hydron.
I guess they know that they're not going to be able to punish the Widow, so he gets free shots, but he needs to hit shots.
Uprising.
He needs to hit something.
They're chasing after Reiner. They could first.
Oh, point. Ooh.
Right onto Simple. Again, Uprising have to finish this quickly.
Yeah, I don't love the Widow pick.
Sam is harassing the other support. There is no healers for Uprising. They still got the kills on the front line, and that's all that mattered. UV the last one to touch.
Yeah.
And Redbird cannot deny.
Like, if you're gonna commit to the Widow, you need to get value out of the Widow. Like, you need to get picks, so kind of unfortunate, but I feel like Redbird should have held this, especially with how close they got to holding the first point, but made a couple of mistakes. Like, I think they made a couple of mistakes, like,
Gonna continue to be the case.
should have went Doom. He already had a Doom. Like, Hydron could have gone Tracer, like, there. Or anything. Just make it, if he went Tracer, he could have just been absolutely wreaking havoc as they tried to win, because they have to walk really deep and touch the cart. Like, literally just anything that I think would be more consistent. You know, going for the hero plays. Like, we see a lot of DPS try and go Widow to catch. Oh, that's not good. We see a lot of people try and go Widow to try and make those plays, but, and that's fine. Like, if you want to do that, you want to go for the Widow play, go for the Widow play. But if you don't hit it, you need to be accountable, right?
Sim and Sam with the May wall. Winning this first fight for Redbird brings Uprising to only 35
Isn't Hydron out? No. He's been in Contenders for a while.
Victoria was mere
Oh, yeah, you might be thinking of Hydration.
able to take themselves out into that spawn area, be invincible and get fully healed up.
Oh, the Sim TP.
Sim TP behind.
They have a TP of their own though. Uprising.
This is hard for Uprising because they switched to the Sim later. So if Hydron gets this wall and they're still in the fight, they just win.
Matrix first from Sim.
Yeah. Like, see, now this wall is just so free.
Extra damage.
Like, Hydron should be able to just play around this wall so free.
Redbird, thanks to the photon bear of Hydron.
Yeah.
Last fight up
Good hold.
have to push this card to respawn.
And I feel like this is going to be a theme throughout this entire series where Redbird just goes this Rhine brawl. I think Redbird is way better at this Rhine Sim brawl than Uprising Academy. Like, obviously, they lost the first map, but I feel like that was more them kind of dropping the spaghetti than them actually being worse.
Only had a minute. And now Uprising 3 meters away. Like, that's all it takes. The Redbird, the big advantage. Turrets set up above them by Victoria.
I like the setup by Redbird. They just literally walk up and no one goes aggressive. They just sort of give it a minute, suss it out. Oh, good wall. That was such a good wall by Sam. Oh, Reiner gets caught though. He's doing so much damage. Holy, nice wall. Dude, Sam's May is kind of nasty. Oh, nice play. That's just clean sim play right there. And the May walls were also nasty. They left the microwave on.
Yeah, now you have the double flanker from Redbird, Sam and Hydron. And Hydron's Tracer, one of the best.
Okay, all right, I'm down. We played our brawl. Let's see who's good at the Shanghai Dragons comp. Okay, never mind. Redbird's not gonna take the duel. They're gonna go the Tracer. Ah, so they think this is the counter to the Brig Zen. I actually like it. I actually think this is quite a good comp because if you can just get your entire team on top of the Brig Zen, they just lose, right? Like the Brig Zen can't run. Yeah, they're doing a good job of getting there as well. They're just way too fast for Boston Uprising. It needs to be on Itzel to get a... Yeah. It needs to be on Itzel to get more damage, and they need to get a pick before. That's a great switch by Redbird. They knew exactly what they were trying to do and what their win condition was.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Stage 1 of the advance was A-OK, and now we've moved into Stage 2, the all-out brawl with Redbird focusing whatever...
That's terrifying if you're Uprising Academy. I think...
Academy were unable to escape the speed...
How do you stop this? Like, oh, they're going Torb? I don't think Torb's it. I think as long as the Echo commits to breaking the turret, yeah, there you go, Tracer Sombra. I know they're switching too late, right? Like, so now Uprising Academy is they're in a lot of trouble. They're trying to take a fight with very bad neutral play against Redbird. Redbird's probably just gonna walk at them with Cole. They need to really hope they get a pick. As long as Ultraviolet doesn't get hacked. Did they see him? Look at how much space they're giving. Oh, the Zen's dead though. They split up. Oh, Simple got the Transcendence. That was huge. Oh, still dies though. Okay, I actually think Uprising Academy's done a pretty good job of holding on to this. That was kind of a botched engage by Redbird. They got into the right spot, but they didn't get the kills which they needed to, when they needed to. Well played by Uprising Academy. Oh!
This might not be winnable for Redbird, but it's about what these tanks can do on the front line, but they can't puncture into those supports of Uprising.
Now I'm going to be able to walk away with a loot that would constitute a...
This might be a bit dumb, but what would happen if they did against Shanghai? How would they stop it? Shanghai makes it so that you are never able to go like that, right? So the thing that makes it so oppressive, people tried to play that Winston, like Lucio Moira rush. What happened is Izayaki and Lee Jae-gon are just too good at like maneuvering. They would not have got caught like that, like Uprising Academy did. But also, Fate, they kind of fucked themselves by playing Tracer Hanzo. They sort of walked into it. But imagine Lip, Fleta, Fate trying to rotate against that. They're just so good. Like they don't give you the space. Uprising Academy, they gave them too much space to just walk up that right corridor and get to the back line. Like there is ways that you can play the Brig Zen against it. But you need to play pretty flawlessly. And more importantly, you need to win the first fight. With the Brig Zen, once you have Rally, once you have Transcendence, it gets a lot easier because now all of a sudden Redbird has to, like the team playing the Winston comp needs to close a lot of distance to get to you, and then you can use a defensive ult. And that's kind of what happened on this fight just then. But it all comes down to the backline and how much pressure the front line can put, because the Winston comp doesn't want to try and kill a Tracer Sombra or a Wrecking Ball. That's just waiting more time in which they can get picked. So the Tracer Sombra Wrecking Ball can be really aggressive. And this is what I actually don't like about what Uprising Academy is doing now, right? I think they're giving too much space. They're giving way too much respect to Redbird and giving them to, like... So what's happening is they don't have these long distances to close to get into the backline, right? So it feels like Uprising Academy is just always on the back foot. Like they drop the mines. See where they drop the mines? Where the mines are, where the rally is, they've had to pop 2 ults just to like stem the bleeding a little bit, but they don't have anyone providing this aggressive presence. Iron gets caught on the Diva Bomb. In short, Dragons are too good. There's a reason Dragons were able to play that comp and no one was willing to mirror them against it, because they're just too good at it. Wow, it still gets Reiner. It feels like Redbird's really struggling to close these fights. I don't know if that's bad target management or just really good defensive play by Uprising. Uprising's doing a lot better than I thought they would with this comp. Simple has Transcendence again as well, right? So now all of a sudden if Redbird want to commit, EMP goes out. It's okay. Oh, Ultraviolet's going to commit the Cole as well. I feel like Redbird's trying to win these fights again. You know what I mean? I guess they're just going to switch, right? They're probably going to go to the Brig Zen themselves.
Tearing through Redbird. And right now we're really seeing the shortfalls of the Redbird composition. Hydron and Sam, they have to use their resources so early on their flanks because there's no way for them to be healed by Lucio and Amoira.
Alright, so they're going to go Brig Zen.
Have to change over their compositions here.
Interesting that Sam wants to stay the Echo. I think the Sombra's just so good against this. Yeah, I don't like the Echo. I would much prefer to see Sam play the Sombra, but maybe he's way more comfortable on the Echo. Like, maybe it's a comfort thing. Which I think is a fine thing to do. Like, I don't think Echo's awful. I just think Sombra would get inherently more value. It just puts so much more pressure on the Wrecking Ball. The Wrecking Ball can't play as wild. Oh, that was close. Stella's doing a good job. And like that's the value of the Echo, right? The Sombra.
What a good one from Stellar too to catch Reiner on entry and couldn't even escape. As now Uprising gonna go and trap those mines at the front entrance. Thought they could trap more people in and get more kills, but still Redbird are resetting.
Victoria's been so studious when it comes to keeping control of his health packs, and it remains a thorn in Reiner's side. But he has been able to generate a good amount of ultimate charge here. Already going to be trying to such a quick kill onto Fixer.
Excuse me?
Ultimate charge here remains a thorn in Reiner's side. But
it's an interesting dive by Redbird. It's kind of clean actually. Fixer gets bopped. Good EMP though. That's a great EMP. That's textbook, right? So like as much that sort of goes back to the value that we're talking about, right? The Echo versus the Sombra. Well, I guess if you just turn into a Sombra, problem solved. But the individual hacks in the EMP are just so nice.
Sam floats away without the mercy pocket. He definitely has to play slower than he'd like. Hydron creeps by, and it's a Tracer 1v1 that Redbird aren't really ready to follow up with, I think.
was unfortunate timing for Redbird. Their timing is so weird, Lemon. Hydron's already...
Oh, Sam kills both backliners? How does Simple die with the Transcendence? Oh, that's a throw by Simple.
Timing for Redbird. Their timing is so weird, Lemon.
He needs to pop that Trance. That's such a... That could cost them a lot. He is coming back with it.
I think everyone
QOQ needs to...
Reiner and looking at Reiner and maybe responding to that, but they forgot about their supports. We're so well hidden, but Redbird starts the first, second, and third take. The mines are still getting kills, and a self-destruct from Iron pushes away the Transcendence.
Yeah, that was pretty bad by Simple. I think that a lot of that fight is on Simple. Like, he needs to get that Transcendence out. They just lose too much positioning for that.
The records being in the 6-minute plus area, so this is very beatable for the Uprising if they can even get.
Thank you very much. That's Thousand. I appreciate that. I feel like my analytical style is very casual, but I feel like that's the way I like to do things, you know? I don't want to, like, just enjoying it, you know? Just a good old couch analysis. Woo! Let's watch this dive again. How did they get this out so clean? Did Sam get hacked? Sam does get hacked. Great hack.
Dive to make, and they made it work, Lemon. Managing to hit that pile driver as well is frankly astonishing.
That's a clean dive by Boston Uprising Academy. Woo!
All three Redbird tossed up.
Yeah, that's true.
5 people, I think. It's what?
I was worried about the dropping of...
You also do shoes on camera. That's true. That is my biggest asset.
You know what? I'm not quite as worried anymore. I'm coming to terms with it, Lemon. I don't know why or how, but...
Alright, they are gonna get an EMP. They're gonna get a lot of ults first, though. No, Bo is your biggest asset. That's true.
Kill came in after the point cap, so I think Uprising were trying to take this fight very quickly as Victoria's going over to the left side, have access to that mega pack where Stellar wants that hacked, and that'll give an important resource for Victoria. Hydron trying to negate that area.
They're just trying to... Oh, that was a good kill on Fixer. That was an important kill on Fixer as well. Like, if they didn't get that cleanup... Alright, well played by Redbird. They should be fine now. Alright. So now it comes down to the EMP. Like, Uprising Academy, it needs to be the value of the EMP versus, you know, what they're going to get on Echo. Nice, yeah. Well, lovely little tech by Rana.
In that fight, they were just kind of brawling out after they get on early pick, I believe, onto Sam. So they were just seeing what cheekiness they could get away with off the back of that. And now they're going to be able to come in with a surplus of ultimates. I'd love to see them up with a rally if they could poke out a little bit beforehand, just to make sure that everyone's reinforced.
It's a little hip check into the ocean, just a little bit of a bump. Bye! Oh, ultraviolet!
From Stellar, he's looking for ultraviolet, and he's just trying to...
Oh, he got it! That was such a good EMP.
Couldn't use a transcendence. Luke Camino needs to live. Victoria...
Oh, Luke Mino's gonna drop the rally. Oh, how does Stella die to that? Where the fuck's Stella?
Camino needs to live. Victoria is making...
Oh, that's a boot by Reiner.
Sure he doesn't.
Nice.
The rally has been started. Gonna be very difficult to kill him now.
Mine's on the point. Ultraviolet's coming back with the Transcendence though, so he should be able to negate a lot of these mines. A trance, please. Oh god, I thought he was gonna pull a simple. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm lost in the sauce. Oh god, that's a mine. Me every time I see a mine. He's like goes to run out and he's a mine. He's like, fuck. I would have just gone for it. You know what actually I would have tried to do? And this is why I would have died earlier. I would have tried to run through the mine. I would have tried to blink over the mine. I would have got too close to it, tried to blink over it and died. But he died as well, so really, both of our ideas are just as bad as each other's. Oh? Honestly, that's fine, because they traded for the...
They had a huge advantage over Redbird. But now they're just gonna have to try and make it work off the back.
Because they don't have the mech. As long as they dive in the next, like, 10 seconds, they need to dive on the baby soonish. Dude, Redbird has nothing in the tank. But I guess either does Uprising.
It's just a disadvantage from the start. And I think the Reiner Mines helped give this defense a point of stabilization. Now this pack is probably still hacked by Stellar. Victoria is trying to own this.
How come Wrecking Ball doesn't show up as an assist when he boots into kills? It's just, yeah, it's hard for the game to recognize what happened.
Got hacked.
Oh. Did they go for the dive on the baby?
Is trying to own this left side, and Hydron keeps
Yeah, so they went for the dive on the baby, but I think they messed it up.
And I wonder if Iron got
That's not great.
Then he should have. Sam's got a Discord orb on him, trying to fly away, and manages to do so.
Oh, you would have cleared a mine while dying. That's true.
Him halfway, drops the mines near those.
Ooh. Ooh.
Victoria with the
Oh, that was some nasty clipping.
Luke Mino's still living though. And
Just absolutely murdered Ultraviolet.
we only have 2 members remaining to defend this point.
All right, Victoria, I see you.
Gone away as Luke Mino has to contest the second, but it's simple with a transcendence. If things don't go well for this attack,
Rally.
it has to end now. You can have a
Oh, nice
decent
hack.
dive going in, a hack of the Riders.
God, playing ball is a frowny town.
Uprising continue their kill streak.
All right, good transcendence by Ultraviolet.
Three in the back with everything to play for and a
Oh, that's an important hack. Get the mech, get the mech, get the mech before he gets the bomb off. He's gonna get the bomb off. It's up. That's a problem. They're in trouble.
shield from Vatiers.
Oh, how did it all live?
Was body blocked from trying to
Oh, they're gonna hold, aren't they?
uses his own.
Fuck this map type. Dude, 2 CP strikes again. Uprising Academy is boomed.
Rest. And Uprising were denied the completion at 97%. Are you kidding me?
Lol, 2 CP.
Hardly believe it, Lemon.
They need to finish that diva. Yeah, they couldn't get the focus on. I think there was a rally going at the same time, so it's hard.
They just had so much resilience. You got to think about how good that rally is, right? Against a small arms fire. Stella, Victoria, Itzel, QOQ, all of their damage is getting reduced to about 50% because small arms fire against that rally. Only Simple could really put out that much damage, and they were busy using their transcenders to keep everyone alive.
First and final tick started from Uprising EMP.
You got the EMP. You got the blinds out before the EMP.
That gets and he's removed.
Oh, good kill by Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet gets that trade. It's out wants to build that red carpet to the point with these mines. But it's thinking, is this winnable? Is everyone ready? Sam
Alright. Ultraviolet needs to get this transcendence. Oh, he got it. Woo! Ultraviolet. That was so clutch. Oh, Hydron killed himself. That's a problem.
Could be the case.
Rally's up. Oh, yeah. That.
Still think it's winnable, but they have to get back to this point.
Oh, wow. Sam is carrying.
They'll have to sacrifice
Yeet. Yeet the bomb in.
Itself didn't survive without him. An Uprising.
Oh, Sam carry.
Cannot keep this going.
Sick.
They lost Simple early, Lemon. They should have called it right there. You're not going to win this without the Zenyatta. And now they may well have found Stellar as well. They have. That's another pick. That's going to be denying the
Ultraviolet kind of built different, not gonna lie. Yeah, he's been playing well. He's been charging these transcendences quick.
time would be a sentence to death. Just have to play for the draw because there's 1:06 in the time bank for Redbird.
That was a great bomb.
Now Uprising Academy have less than about 30 seconds for Uprising to get to this point. It's an EMP, a pulse bomb, transcendence if they need the sustain. Simple could be hunted out by Hydron, and that could be the end.
Nice rally.
EMP from Stellar, Reiner and Ultraviolet hack in.
The EMP got way more value than I was expecting it to.
Luke Mino is forced to use the rally, reinforcing Redbird. The ultimates have been used from the defense, out much with the mines. Sam tried to hunt down the supports. The peel is great from Victoria. He notices some DPS over on the Mega Pack side as a self-destruct from QQ is used on the point, and Uprising have been cut in
Oi.
half as they
Don't.
travel to the point, and Redbird fought for minutes on end to defend this, and they are successful.
Another transcendence from Ultraviolet.
Now leading the series 2-1.
Damn. Okay.
That little clawed mouse
Oh, you wanna get on?
Simple, and they removed him with a plum each and every time, Lemon. They knew that the second that Zenyatta was gone, this steam engine would be running out of fuel. And Uprising Academy on their map pick are trounced by Redbird.
One sec.
Miracle.
Boy was attacking Aya, so I had to kick one of them out.
Point B.
They may have shot themselves in the
Count of the week, thank you for the 42 months. The answer to everything. Thank you for the 42. Count of the week. Victoria could not have done more. Yeah, that's true. They did so. Victoria did carry that. Surprised they took him out.
for the longest time.
But I assume they already had a plan that Finale was going to play Echo.
Ultraviolet bring out
So now we're going to see double bubble. We're seeing it all. Well, double bubble with Diva.
to play from a low ground. It's and QOQ will be able to jump on them very easily, so that's another job for Iron. Oh, and here's the classic Tracer duel, Lemon. Prepared to see a load of these.
Yeah, I mean, no Stompers in this match, so you don't own the Mega Pack. It's everyone's Mega Pack.
It's a communal Mega Pack. Oh, Hydra's going to have to... Oh, Hydra just got done.
They don't look too injured. Maybe Finale took some
Oh.
of these heals
Oh.
up, and this is all about generating that nano boost, where I think that can really kick things off for the defense. But it's up to Redbird to
UV building transfer for, yeah, faster than the EMP.
Well, it's a good 40% ahead of Simple right now, just a couple of ticks away. And
Alright, Nano Winston. Oh, they did not do a good job of dealing with that Winston when he jumped.
didn't get those stickies if you're Sam.
They gave up a lot of space.
Them away. Uprising Academy respected that. Reiner and friends collecting that first tick. Uprising
Dude, Finale's got air that got a copy before Sam's even like 60%.
counter dive has started. Oh, actually.
Oh, he's gonna lose it, Mech. Oh, he's gonna lose it though. Ah, that's not very good.
But Finale denied from that echo form. Actually gets
I guess he just gets the Mech instantly back, right?
It's thrown
Oh, good bomb.
actually over to coast side, where Ultraviolet tried to run. No mobility to mobility.
Lumino's earning like no ult charge, but that's because he's not getting dove, right?
Access. And Redbird
Redbird are the team that's playing aggressive, so therefore like the Tracer and the Winston probably aren't diving the backline.
Post bomb, but why? This fight was well gone and lost. That's
I think to kill
unfortunate.
him.
You know what? I think you might be right, Lemon. I'm taking your degree back. You're simply too smart to only have a master's degree.
Think you'd ever coach our Contenders? No, I don't think I'd ever really want to get into coaching. Too much time, effort, too much stress, but not enough reward.
He's gonna do his Hydron impression. Didn't use a post bomb this time, but gets Ultraviolet.
They get Simple this time on the dive. Dude, they are deep.
Just fine. Can't say the same for Fixa and Simple. An even better dive. A superior one from Redbird that delete the supports of the defense. They congregate around that point. They've already gotten that first tick. And man, that self-destruct even kills Simple when he's coming out of spawn.
Wait, Simple died? That's a tragedy. They actually really needed that Ana.
It's winnable, Lemon.
I think this is a throw by Uprising Academy.
Here, it's, maybe he wants to do a Hammond swap.
Don't use the rally. Don't use the rally. Don't use the rally.
Close Uprising to keep this going. Hey, maybe Simple. Maybe he'll-
Alright, nice. They didn't use ults.
But Fixa can't. Didn't even use rally, so they must not think it's really winnable. And Simple's gonna keep that nano for the next fight too. So Redbird will unlock that point.
It was such a cruel bomb as well from Sam. Because Simple like listed a little bit to the right when coming out of a door, so the only way that they could escape from a bomb was
Aye.
to off the map. Oh, we have another Tracer duel in the back. Be prepared to see a lot of these. They basically, I think there were so many Tracer duels that someone made an edit on Reddit yesterday of just Tracer duels between Hydra and
Ooh, Finale gets diffed.
And that's where Stellar had Mega Pack advantage.
That's a really bad death as well. Oh, they're gonna nano the wins. Ugh. I don't like what Boston Uprising have been doing here.
Finale is dead.
Academy.
Aggressive does he want to be? I don't even see. Okay, there's QOQ. He's
Keep calling Boston Uprising when really they're just Uprising Academy.
that Simple nano, but still.
Oh, the Winston's one.
No man, they ate those stickies like a champ. A 3-man bio from Simple.
Yeah, that was a big nade.
Engage for the defense. It's out.
And the rally, that should just be it.
Rally from Fixa reinforces them as they chase down these supports
Johnny?
of Lucamino of Ultraviolet over on the coast side. Hydron has to try and assist, but it's
Oh, Iron uses his bomb. I don't like that.
no healers remain for Red.
Sam used copy. Oh, okay, there's some spaghetti on the floor in this one right now.
Until he said, "Oh darn, I made a mistake."
I feel like there's a lot of ults going off that really shouldn't be going off.
I had words about Hydron's bomb earlier. Maybe Redbird and
Yes, I am planning on doing Contenders career finals as well.
numbers. Like, how many of us? It's just you, Sam. Okay, I'm doing the duplicate, boys.
I do not step on the keyboard.
Early duplicate there from Finale, but now a double Winston dive.
Alright, that's a double Winston dive like it's 2016, baby.
Still managed to nano Reiner, but man, Uprising Academy are just doing work. Oh, a couple more slaps and Ultraviolet was dead. Why did we get
That was a little aggressive. I feel like there was a moment in which they should have backed out, and I feel it's now, right? I think everyone else should have given up. I don't like It's All using Primal. I guess he gets slept.
doing work?
But also, I don't know why Finale ran away from him. I feel like Finale needs to help there.
Did we see a squirrel? What happened? Uprising Academy, I guess, are going back to the point, and we're successful.
It seemed like a very weird dive.
Back into their
And then they're gonna nano QIQ to stall the...
It's time for revenge. The dark
I'm a little
side
lost with what's going on in this one right now.
from Luke Mino and Reiner with the primal rage. Ultimate Q
Is Korea Contenders a higher standard than US Contenders?
to dodge this.
Um...
Now
I actually don't know where it completely stands right now. I think in general, the way it usually works is that I generally think the peak of NA contenders can contest from time to time with the top of NA contenders. Korean contenders. Like they have been competitive in the past, but I think overall Korea contenders as like a whole tournament and like all the teams in that are better than all of NA's teams. You know what I mean? The mean is higher. The mean quality is higher in Korea.
Pauses the pulse bomb on the ground. The tanks, they dodge it. Redbird, less than a meter away from capturing point B, and Uprising, they give it up.
They just have to. It's still a fight in the back. Leave each other alone. There are tanks to shoot.
We're
Actually,
separating you two.
It's kind of how it is in our, right? Like, I think there's a lot of great NA players and, like, talent in the league, but there's just not as much as the Korean talent, you know?
achieved by the Echo, but they are doing a huge amount of damage, and Stellar has lost the Tracer duel to Hydron in the back. That's a big badge of honor for the North American hopeful.
This Uprising Academy team would have lost to both O2 and Talent. Oh, yeah, I think I agree with that.
Never stop fighting Reiner.
That said, I haven't watched a lot of either of those teams. I've watched, like, bits and pieces, but...
And Ultraviolet hit a sick buy onto those supports.
It is very weird to me that Boston Uprising, the Uprising Academy team is fully Korean.
Sal, who's trying to do the same thing. Sam is trapped. I think might have grabbed the mini pack, and look at the rest of Redbird to ensure his safety. But Finale went after Ultraviolet, so you don't have a lot of heals for Redbird. Luke Camino dangerously low, gets flanked by Stellar. Support's gone for Redbird. Iron uses the self-destruct, but it's just, this fight is over.
This fight was happening.
Players who come from Korean contenders have an easier time transitioning into Tier 1 than NA or EU players. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's just the number as well. I think there's been a lot of great NA players that have come from contenders, right? Like, I think Atlanta Academy, right? Almost every single player from that roster, most of the players from that roster transitioned into T1 and NA and have done very well. It's just the quality of them, right? Like, the quantity of them. There haven't been as many teams of that quality of like Atlanta Academy, American Tornado, and that kind of stuff, right? Fusion University. I think they're all great examples of great NA teams that can easily have transitioned into Tier 1. But they're just very few and far between compared to Korea.
You won't be dropped on.
Now Redbird commanding this high ground. See, if you can get Ultraviolet up there, a bio can be a win condition of its own. But
What about British Hurricanes to London Spitfire? I think EU Contenders is different.
time to fight.
I think EU Contenders is very weird. I think there's a lot of great players in EU Contenders, but I don't know. EU Contenders has been weird.
We have a self-destruct.
It definitely did not work for the London Spitfire.
Are low for Uprising, but they make the space right back.
But as Liz said, picking up an entire team is not advised, right? Like,
Getting back into mech.
there are great, like in these contenders teams, there's not been many teams where you should pick up the entire roster. Every roster has strong players and weak players. You should grab the strong players and pair them with veteran players, right? Like, when Halo announced that he was saying that like Florida Mayhem might pick up all of American Tornado or like all that kind of stuff. You need to be really careful with those kind of things because it's a massive step up and there are great players, but if you can fill that roster out with other great players, then that is the way to do it. Kind of how they're doing where they're taking a lot of places and potentially putting them in Atlanta Reign, right? Like, I think it makes sense.
Final blows belong to them. They've made Nambani their own, despite this being their finale.
Like, Runaway was an exception to the rule. There haven't been many teams that have been able to do that.
Do plenty of damage, but they ganged up upon from so many different angles. Ultraviolet needed to survive Lemon.
That was such a good jump out from Itza. I can't believe he did not live there, just staring at
Oh, that...
members of Redbird. But Ultraviolet, this is going to be a tough.
It's almost killed a couple... Oh!
Before they've killed Fixa, you traded supports.
C9.
You know where Simple is, and Sam is making the call. If he can kill Simple, deny the nano. That's something Uprising are depending on. But Sam is just trying to help with the card presence of Redbird, and there really isn't without Reiner and Iron there. Luke Mina will still.
God, Echo's so chaotic to play.
For this attack, it's overtime, and it's started, and the kills are back and forth. There's no supports in this defense. Fix it, Simple are gone, and then guess who's back?
And they only did it because Goats was broken, yeah. And that becomes a question as well, right? Would Runaway have been as dominant as a team in a meta which wasn't as like heavy as goat and goats independent as goats, right? I think they would have always been great, right? Like they still made it to the grand finals and stuff like that, but would they been as dominant as they were in 2019? That was a fucking nutty fight. Literally Hydron and Sam, I think, were just going sicker.
Simple listing away to the right hand side. Nothing else to do.
They kill the rest of the disengage, even up stare.
Please, bird down to overtime. And that allows a slight opening. If you can Captain Barney here, your map choice with 1 minute or more on the
Dallas Fuel was all from the same Contenders team, right? Except Jackson. Yeah, yes, but from years prior, right? Like obviously it was more like a reunion of them coming back, but yeah, kind of.
Redbird won't get to go again.
Stellar. Not going the bottom side, but the top left. So you don't have that immediate pack to use, and maybe this is to generate more ult charge for someone like Simple, who's
Like so, like half of Dallas Fuel was on Paris Eternal the year prior, right?
Past that, if you're Stellar, you don't have pack, and you have Sam on the other side that can finish you in 0.25. So Stellar's being cautious, has access to Mega Pack, might go on coast side. Hydron's going to be marking him along with
On Ultraviolet and Rhino from American Tornado. American Tornado like I guess disappeared after the last season, if I remember correctly, and then they put this team together, Redbird together. I don't know why American Tornado disbanded. I don't have the T on that or the understanding of thing. Oh my god, Itzel was actually one. Okay, Hydron gets it. College? Ah, so just yeah. Fucking real life getting in the way of great teams. Oh, Ultraviolet? Let's see, just moving on, yeah. That's the thing, like, it's like I actually don't know how much players get paid in Contenders, especially if you're like the top of Contenders, but I still think it's pennies in it to what you get an hour, right? So it's hard to, a lot of the people in Contenders are generally young, and the reason is because they can afford it or they have the time for it, you know what I mean?
There just wasn't enough damage because Luke Mino was so studious with keeping their co-support alive. Goodbye, Simple.
Redbird is the college they play for? Oh, is Redbird like I actually didn't know that. Are they getting like, is it like a collegiate team that's just in Contenders? Did they all move to this college? Illinois State University? Oh, that's fucking news to me. I didn't know that. That's awesome. They're on a scholarship? Yo, fucking living the dream. They get schooling, they get money.
Why are we playing at the attacker's spot?
I love that she realizes, like, why are we here? What are we doing here?
Both these teams are trading out the bio, though, from,
yeah, schools started to offer full rides for esports, yeah, which you should 100% do. If you can find a competitive college team.
Redbird having to take advantage of a secret megas.
OG and Speedly too young for college. Oh, so that's why they weren't on the team. Makes sense. Makes sense.
You know where to look. Uprising Academy now. They once again have that nano.
Wait, Pigpix played Collegiate?
It's going to bring down the tempo a touch. It's going to allow for Redbird to bring their respawns back and position them.
I Nano Winston. Oh wow, I thought he died. Bonk. Oh, nice. I like that play. Oh, nice 8 by QOQ. That was a great peel by QOQ.
It's an all-out brawl for the point where Uprising Academy just can't even sneak by with a tick, no matter.
We have Portillo's. Yo, that's nice for you. Oh, I thought that was gonna hit.
And they're just trying to use the self-destruct from QOQ to make some space, but it only forced Redbird more into your face, and Redbird are still killing them. Uprising,
they just aren't this Redbird team, yeah. You ever had Portillo's? I don't think so. I think there's one in LA that everyone always tells me to go to, and I've never been to it.
Despite a good start to the series, it feels like when the pressure is on, Uprising Academy...
Then don't be a hater.
They begin to fail
Harsh but fair. That's fair.
each other. Redbird are in a great position to win this final fight right here with their 3 ultimate advantage. Simple needs that bio, but you can't heal the tanks at the moment.
This is a good defensive bio from UV. QQ almost got demacked. That could have been the end there. Sam's still gonna commit. Thought he could get the kill into finale. And Sam decides to fall back. Wants to generate that self-destruct. A great boop on an Itzal. Nano 2. Itzal is trying to do work in the back line. Reiner is slipping.
God, Numbani first is such a fucking nightmare.
Going back to the point now is Uprising.
Are they gonna get it?
Touch. Uprising support just got filed. This is a brawl of a
UV diff.
Uprising don't have any healers.
Well played. Like, that's so hard. They just can't deal with all the threats that they're having. Well played by Redbird. Clean gameplay. Honestly, Redbird just seems like they're trying to comp diff. Just beat them in every different comp. Alright, back to the Briggs Zen. Alright, we're gonna see Sam not play the Sombra again and play the Hanzo instead in the Briggs Zen mirror. Oh yeah, I'll be doing O2 Talon as well. Just not today. Oh, how does he get Sombra? That's a big pick.
At a distance, he was poked out by Ultraviolet as Redbird were disengaging. You have a 5 versus 5, but the initiator from Uprising, Itzal, is still alive and well. Can easily go and finish off Iron. That's
alright.
the problem. The point is now unlocked.
Dude, Reiner just got bullied there, it feels like. Like, look at the ball diff in terms of ult charge. I think that's literally just the Sombra. It literally has nothing to do with the ball players. The Sombra is probably just making it harder for Reiner to move around the map.
And remember, Redbird, they're going to be lacking.
Oh, God. Feels bad, man. I'm sorry, Reiner.
It's just poking away. Victoria.
Dude's literally fucking hating life. Just getting some main tank vibes.
Simple has Transcendence. And just based off of ult tracking, you might assume Ultraviolet has too, so Ultraviolet...
I'm in the same boat as Eric, where it's like 45-minute drive away. It's on the like the opposite side of the city for me.
But it's about just getting the stick, so they can't dance around it. Looks like even Stellar's helping out with that.
Sav's been trying to get me to go for a while. Alright. Oh, nice. Victoria's been kind of nice.
The Transcendence, the burst would have been too much anyway, as Uprising continue to hold the objective, and Redbird are caught out.
Stellar finds themselves locked in a door. Redbird, do they want to surrender this with only 4 people? No.
I think this might be the only comp that I think Uprising Academy has the edge on. Like, I think Uprising Academy look better in this comp, and I legitimately just think it's because they're willing to play Sombra. Like, I think the Sombra's just better. It makes it so much harder for the opposition Wrecking Ball to play the game. And just, like, the individual hacks provide so much value.
Redbird were able to hit the S key hard enough, I guess.
Show cats. Oh, shit.
That rally, but still no presence on this point, and now they have to deal with an EMP as well. It's going to be difficult to keep Ultraviolet alive during this. A rally would have been a great answer. And Luke Mino and Ultraviolet can't really stay apart in any meaningful way to knock both
Good eye.
this EMP.
Sam used the Dragon Strike on the right side. That's where he wants to sit.
That hit Ultraviolet? Excuse me?
Reiner cannot. That's where
To not both get hit by this EMP.
Sam used the Dragon Strike on the
Oh, that's right on the edge.
wants to sit and Stellar EMP.
Are the players allowed to use their own crosshairs, or do they have to use default? No, the crosshairs that you see are the spectator crosshairs, which are all default. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever settings you want in Overwatch League. Do it. Whatever video settings, whatever character settings, all that kind of stuff. The only thing you can't do is skins. Skins are disabled.
And it's up to Hydron to touch, but he's getting checked by Victoria.
Absolutely bullied at the moment. Hydron
Sam goes over to the Sombra.
pick up a health back at this point, but they're getting surrounded on all sides. Meanwhile,
Sombra diff.
to stay on the point no matter what.
Oh god, feels Luke Mino, man.
Blood, it will be stood upon.
There's no healers for Redbird, but they just gotta keep fighting anyway. Somehow they flipped, but it really doesn't matter. They don't have the resources to sustain this fight. Asphyxia even charges after Hydron. He's dealt with. Redbird about to lose this point swiftly, but they might have time for another fight. But someone has to start this overtime and keep it burning.
Oh wow.
Just playing the objective. Redbird has to come to them. Sam makes a
Sam was there, and now Sam is not there. Luke Mino was there, and now he's not there.
Just again, next it's Hydron.
Oh god. Oh, nice Transcendence. Then you can see why our teams play Sombra. It just, as I said, the Sombra is not even it doesn't do a ton of damage. Just the threat of hacks completely changes the way the opposition needs to play the game, and the EMP is just so valuable, especially compared to like a Hanzo, right? Like Hanzo is very inconsistent. Like obviously Hanzo can be great and it can get a ton of picks, but if you don't get those picks, you just don't have the same neutral value that you get from a Sombra.
And that is the dive again. Victoria probably swapping to the Tracer, and that's been a matchup.
All right, Sam's gonna play the Sombra mirror this time. Let's see how they do with it.
Yeah, Victoria usually likes to play Hanzo on this map as well, but I think they feel that if they can make
It's all got kind of bullied here. Shellfish, thank you very much for the 4 months. All right, there you go, Redbird. Redbird got the positioning into the mega room first, which is the main thing.
He's 50% to mines. So Uprising will have to rethink this, and I think Victoria.
I want Victoria now just so Uber can make Victoria's secret jokes. Oh, you know what's coming.
Makes his life miserable.
It's interesting that this first fight is actually the antithesis of our last one, Lemon. It's all about which ball can get more efficacy out of their pile driver, because the other ball is usually forced to use like a counter.
Efficacy.
Motherfucker. Iron was just assassinated.
Eric KJ, thank you for the prime sub.
For him, but 5 versus 6. Uprising with the number.
Welcome to the fam.
To the point quickly, they cap it.
Has this comp played the most? No, they've actually been pretty. This has actually been a very diverse meta match so far. Like on like Li Jiang and Havana, they played Brawl, like the Lucio Bat Brawl with like Mei and stuff like that. And then on Nabani, they played the Winston Anna Brig. And then on any maps where they can make on Volskaya, they played like the Brig Zen. So they've actually played a lot, pretty much all the metas that you would expect on each map. It hasn't really felt like they're like one tricking comps.
Redbird are just stuck. Stellar is
What?
so close.
What are you meowing at me for, huh?
Victoria has a pulse bomb. I mean, pick your poison. Something is gonna hit Redbird in the face. And they're still just trying to break through. Hydron tried to bait their attention, going to the point. He escapes down the dark alley. Stellar now.
I hope they replace Matt for Vicky. Vicky is such amazing energy. Get fucked, Matt. Oh wait, do you mean Matt Mr. X?
EMP as Redbird are in the middle of the map. Nice.
No, Matt's about to fucking fire everyone else but himself and give himself a triple raise.
Gets the trade. What synergy?
What is that? The EMP only hits Luke Mino. Stella may have fumbled that one slightly, Lemon, but now it's time for it all-out brawl on the point, and Sam returned fire, hitting only one person as well.
That's a lot of ults. Oh, nice bomb. EMP into the bomb. Uprising Academy used all of their ults for that as well. That is a really bad fight for them. They got nothing left.
Checking Iron's mech state.
Do you call that pairing Mr. Kitty?
Because last time they were quite Uprising Academy, even over a frankly ridiculous amount of distance.
I cannot imagine calling Matt Mr. Kitty.
Try and clear some space off of a bomb, but I imagine that QOQ's going to want to save this for a remake, given the limited healing.
Kitty shouts.
Uprising Academy.
Uprising stuck in their spawn. Look at this double flame from Hydron and Sam 2.
Copywriting that now. Too late. It's already stolen. I've tweeted it out. It's mine.
What a play! An opening Uprising Academy need to take advantage of, and so they do. They DMAC Iron.
How do they win this fight? What happened? How do they get into this fight?
Over a frankly ridiculous amount of distance. Uprising Academy. They can try and clear some space off of a bomb, but I imagine that QOQ's going to want to save this for a remake, given the limited healing resources.
Don't meow me.
Uprising Academy.
Uprising stuck in their spawn. Look at this double flame from Hydron and Sam 2. And the mines right up to
Oh wow, those mines were nuts. That's how.
What a play!
That was such a crazy.
Uprising Academy need to take advantage of.
I feel like they shouldn't have been able to get that much value onto the supports, but hey, big plays by Uprising Academy.
As Uprising off of the play of its
Okay, I get it. You're upset. You're fine.
65% plus.
Controls theirs again, Lemon. If they can win one more fight, they might be able to win this map off the back of that. I agree.
Go on. I know you want to run out.
But right now, I'm wondering how Ryan is going to use this mine.
Come in.
It used to great effect against Luke Mino and Ultraviolet in conjunction, Lemon.
You guys want to see a magic trick?
Find that same initiative.
My cat has transformed into a different cat.
And on higher ground.
Last fight that Uprising have to win. To start climbing back in this series. Victoria's just
No, under the shield. Good catch.
Not enough to injure Luke Mino or Ultraviolet, but not the same for Hydron. Picks off Sim Simple. No transcendence for Uprising as they try to win off the EMP.
I'm watching it. I'm watching the game, boy. Not right now.
As they just go back to the point. It's 99%.
All right, Redbird should be able to get this cap.
There's not much Uprising can say as Redbird flip, and there's quite a gap in the score.
So what?
Have to close.
It's fine.
Still has
Food is dinner time's in 30 minutes, okay? Then you can have dinner, okay? How does that sound? Huh?
Fantastic reaction.
Not right now.
From a young North American talent. But now Redbird, they can't afford
Don't?
to lose
Wait.
a single fight, and they seem to have been picked by the
Don't
ferocity of pace that
poke me.
the Academy have deployed so many times.
And Uprising Academy just going in this tiny room so Sam doesn't get a
Alright, EMP.
until Uprising are
It's a good rally. You don't really want to EMP into that. Ugh, I don't like that EMP by Sam. That's just not worth it. I think you hold it. You go for like an individual hack or something like that. They got the mech though.
Uprising can't do anything about it. While Simple was unhacked, he was able to use the Transcendence to restabilize his team.
Alright, there you go. Looks like it's gonna work.
Uprising are losing members left and right, and now it's 90% for Redbird, and plus, we're going into last fight if Uprising can even touch.
Iron and Hydra.
I doubt it. Seems unlikely.
Stella's putting their translocator. Every time they disengage, Iron is on top of it. Vic tries to swap over now onto Elusive. It's a mad dash for the point, and they've killed it now before they can touch, so Stella has to take their place.
Good eat, but it's not gonna do anything. Those mines are a problem.
Next one there, the mines from
He is fine. He is being dramatic, chat. Do not believe his lies.
DMX QOQ, and just when you thought Uprising were
Alright, Redbird, I see you.
9 to 40 something,
Boy,
Redbird
come here.
turned
Hey.
this round on its head, and we're going into round 3, where Redbird's championship is on the line.
And we're going to a very different
No.
map, Lemon. This one is not as dive friendly, but they might swear that Red may
Mecha Base and Redbird are not even gonna rush. Not, at least not yet.
who I don't even know you anymore.
Rush? Kumegalo? This isn't Rush Bible. This is Redbird Esports. And the final round that either Redbird has to win or Uprising have to deny to continue this series. And it starts with the Victoria versus
Oh, the Hanzo pick onto the Zen?
continue this series. and it starts
That's just not a...
Against Luke Mino and Ultraviolet in conjunction, Lemon. But
You had a good run, boy, in the room. You really did. That was a good job. You had a good run. Boy had to go, okay? He was distracting me and you guys, okay?
Sports. And the
We
final
right? Alright, no more rioting.
that either Redbird has to win or Uprising have to deny to continue this series. And it starts with the
Oh, that
Victoria versus
shot is so nasty by Sam.
It's that first pick to
Oh!
Redbird, and the second onto Stellar. Headshot's disgusting.
Disgusting.
One isn't even unlocked, and Redbird are dominating.
there's just so much damage done. behind
Little aggressive by Hydron.
Boots. Redbird back off, knowing that they need to try and
Boy turned on close. Alright. God damn it, Bo's trying to read.
dive composition. Need a little bit more meat up here, to be honest, Lemon. They need their tanks to be able to join them because Iron is so low.
Redbird Esports just holding on to this high ground. The poke continues between Victoria and Sam, which Sam.
Oh!
No, I guess I forgot Ultraviolet. How could I ever forget the kid? Owl worthy. Redbird with that first pick now starting to approach that main doorway as Uprising head for the hills, and they do not want to fight without all 6 members being alive.
We've still got the kid. It's home alone at the top of Mecha Base.
Someone heal him.
Now, but Ultraviolet's only got 23 HP remaining. Still, Stella can't finish it. Redbird. They're locking down the entrance.
No, I'm done after this, mine.
The Academy, they have the advantage, especially when it comes to their Transcendent. Simple's been first picked both times. They need to either be more conscientious of where they're positioning or there needs to be more peel. Either way, something has to change because Redbird, they could win this entire series with this stage.
A dragon first.
It's interesting how both teams decided to go with the Hanzo on this map instead of the Sombra.
Using Transcendence.
I wonder if it's just like the long sightlines make it more valuable.
Point that they still own. It's 55% plus, and Redbird are getting weakened for the first
Alright, Victoria, I see you.
round, and Uprising need to take advantage of this moment. Hydron, the pulse bomb thrown, unaffected though is Uprising, as they still are trying to get this point capped in their favor despite having more picks. Uprising are just now trying to turn this objective because that damn Hydron.
Dude, Hydron just doesn't die.
Still being contested, though. Iron knows
There's no way Hydron.
point, but self-destruct's gonna be used
That's
to cover, and
tragic.
to cool down the
That Uprising Academy could not close out that fight.
Gets two headshots. This could be it, Lemon. Redbird needs to win one more fight to win the championship. The last one for Contenders 2021, and they're still bullying these supports in sport.
The last
They
fight.
lost the Trends.
It's 93% plus, and they're spot.
Wait, how does Redbird lose this?
Simple has to use a transcendence
Oh?
to rally as early. It's not what Uprising wanted, but it's what they have to do.
Drop mines?
99-0.
Why didn't he drop his own mines? Drop your mines. Drop your mines. Oh, I guess he wants to. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
This is past tense because Ryder just cleared it all. And Uprising need to work together for one last time. You have a lot of work you still have to do. You have the picks, but you have to remove Redbird by force on this point, and the cap comes through. I can relax. You can relax.
Transcendence. Oh, I think Ultraviolet should have used Transcendence there. I think that is 100% worth it to use Transcendence there. As much as it's like, I'm sure it's very hard in his position. If he uses the Transcendence there, him and Hydron just clean up, go to point, they probably win the fight.
They never give up.
They should have just used it.
Can't relax while Hydron's still alive. The
Damn.
is good. QOQ's fight is even better though, but the limited amount.
Oh, he's won!
He just cannot be
He's
sustained.
won! Oh no, Hydron.
You can't escape from Fixer, and that gives a little bit of breathing room.
Oh, that's not great.
Going to be able to sit back. Breathing exercises in and out. They can still do this.
I'm gonna need meditation and therapy after this series. One of these teams will too.
Tell me about
'cause-
your father.
Oh God, father. Sorry.
Sorry?
From that same brain cell. Oh my God.
That went somewhere.
Man, immediately through the choke, Redbird go. The Transcendence first from Uprising. The Dragon Strike pierces through Redbird's heart as they charge back.
Oh, Stella gets Hydron again.
Transcendence of Ultraviolet help them back.
Have you pre-watched any of this? No.
But not hope. What a good pile drive from Mitsal. QQ leaving that self-destruct. Those supports and Redbird under fire. What a play from Mitsal. And the follow-up from Stellar. Uprising, though, still have a 30% gap in the score. They have to close. It's not over yet.
They do have the advantage though. They have their
I know I was going to Overwatch 2 next season. I'm guessing Contenders will as well, right? I doubt it. I doubt that they go to Contenders.
their bomb. They have
Yeah, they're not going. I don't think they're going to give the build to Contenders players. They're so protective of it.
the bomb could have referred to either of them.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can call me a pessimist. Dude, Hydron's dead again. He's just got really unfortunate the last couple lives.
Shot from Victoria. That one shot.
I don't know, but I doubt it. Like, I think the fact that we're even getting Overwatch 2 on next season of OWL, like, I feel like that's on a build. Like, it's not even really being called like a beta, right? So if it was in like a closed beta, I 100% would expect them to give it to all the Contenders players, but I don't know if that's where it's going to be at that point, you know?
Way to check on these traces.
Pulse bomb from Stellar. Didn't get the stick he was looking for. Iron paves the way to self-destruct. Breaks open the shield to Fixer. Uses that rally.
Oh, that's a slam.
Pile drive from Itzal. Victoria with the Dragon Strike while Redbird are all clumped
That was a
up.
little bit late.
Dodge as
Oh!
Redbird takes this to
Oh! Dude, Hydron had a fucking nightmare in the last half of this round. Hydron was pounding and then just had a nightmare.
I'll have to laugh about it later because this is no laughing matter. It's 99.
That's gonna get eaten.
Uprising needs to force the rest of the series, or Redbird, this could be their championship. And it's trades back and forth. And Uprising sustaining with the mines and the transcendence. They can breathe. They dealt with the baby diva. Hydron is
Hydron's
around.
dead.
Needs to start this overtime.
He's done a great job of touching considering there's mines everywhere. And he hasn't touched a mine, yeah.
How do we have the number?
Yeah, Redbird definitely could have won that there. They just drop the spaghetti from time to time. Alright,
Too far.
going to another map which they can play Briggs Zen. As I said, I think it's closer than I originally thought. Redbird playing this ball Briggs Zen comp.
Hashtag spaghetti.
But I think Uprising Academy's better at this comp.
Are dominating dominating the skies. And what
Not by that much, though. Can D.Va eat projectiles through character models? Yes.
Doesn't even need a mercy pocket. A sticky and the focusing beam will be enough to end.
I'm assuming contenders will use custom settings to make a 5v5 like matches. No, they're probably just gonna play Overwatch 1. If I was taking a stab in the dark, probably what's gonna happen is they're just gonna be playing Overwatch 1 with no content, being sad pandas, because as we all know, contenders isn't they're not treated very nicely compared to the Overwatch League, and they're not really supported as much as, you know, I think everyone wishes they were.
Redbird will take shelter though, below Big Earls and try and, you know, dodge any pile drive.
And I think it's going to be impossible to make a 5v5 build of Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1. Yeah, I think that'd be so hard to make and balance. Oh, double pulse bomb by Stella. Let's go, Stella.
Go flick you in the nose.
So if I miss OGR, I can just watch contenders. Exactly.
4K that fight.
Yeah, I think Sad Doctor brings up the important point, right? It all comes down to where Overwatch 2 is. Like, we have no idea what's happening with Overwatch 2. They really do keep their cards very close to their chest. And if you're coming here to, like, get leaks, they don't tell me anything. So I'm just speculating like you guys. It all comes down to how far away Overwatch 2 is. As I said, if Overwatch League's on a closed beta, I could see them giving it to contenders, right? Because it's in a closed beta, they'll be giving it out, it'll be public, and we'll be able to see a lot of what's happening. But if it's still not even in beta phase, no, it's not publicly available anywhere, we're still in pretty much where we are now, and it's just that Overwatch League is playing on it, I don't expect it to be with contenders.
Both supports.
Whose fault is it with the imbalance between Al and contenders? I don't think it's anyone's fault. I think it's the biggest issue is that, like, contenders is great, and it's important to have a tier 2 scene when you have such a big league like the Overwatch League, right? But the biggest issue is there's not enough viewership in contenders and not enough teams willing to invest money in contenders. There has been teams that have put money into contenders, but almost all of them have pulled out because it's just not profitable for you to have a contenders team. There's not enough viewership, not enough popularity. You're not really able to develop players like people thought you would be able to. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of on Overwatch and Overwatch League for not cultivating a successful tier 2 scene, or at least enforcing a tier 2 scene, but it's also, it would be on Blizzard to invest a lot of money to make it run. So it's like, you gotta be happy that the league is providing something in Overwatch contenders and what they have given. Is it by far the best thing that they could provide? Absolutely not. But at least it's something. Because, you know, at the end of the day, Blizzard could easily just be like, we're not running Overwatch contenders anymore. Sort it out among yourselves, right? And yeah, as Liz said, no Orgs are funneling money into academy teams. Teams did. Like, I think Uprising Academy is one of the only ones left. Right? Is there a single academy team? I'm not considering like Chinese or Korea. I'm pretty sure they're the only Western organization that is still here, so.
Beautiful. 5 limbs, 5 final blows.
British Hurricane are gone.
They currently are 5 out of 6 final blows.
And no, British Hurricane doesn't exist, right? I thought British Hurricane doesn't exist anymore. I thought they dissolved. Am I crazy? They still exist? Oh, okay. Well,
Traveling. It's tough because there's no one for Reiner to really go and.
I don't watch EU contenders.
Looking for Fix and Simple. If you can bait out that transcendence from Simple, that'd be a good job. And Redbird rotating around to the top right.
I thought they dissolved, like, I thought they dissolved at the start of this year. I thought when the team left, they got rid of British Hurricanes. I didn't realize they refilled the roster. Doesn't Philly have? Not anymore. Fusion Uni disappeared. Oh, Tracer duel. Oh, Stellar diff. Stella's been playing well on this Tracer. This is getting a little spicy for... So they got the Transcendence. They can probably rally outside of this. If they get fixed, they rally 100%. Yeah, rally. Oh, okay, they're not gonna do it. Simple Trance, though, that was an expensive fight for Uprising Academy. They used both defensives, so that's a pretty good spot for Redbird. They just need to reset.
That Transcendence there, Lemon. Now it's going to be far more difficult to deal with a minefield when Reiner brings it forward.
T1 is technically Philly's Academy team. Yeah, there's still some in Korea and China. I don't know them too well, though.
Rally's gone as well, but Uprising Academy crucially have won another fight and drained even more of his time bank away. Simple's been put so...
Does Uprising Academy belong to Guangzhou? No, Uprising Academy, they're owned by Boston. Unless they've like just changed hands without me realizing.
Try and claim some of this space. Was that a minefield in the back right there? It's so. Was that in the cave? He's dead now anyway.
Oh, up in APAC. I thought you were talking about Uprising Academy. I'm like, you mean the team that's here that has the Boston logo? Yeah. Alright, that makes sense. Sorry.
Last meters of A, they have 50 seconds though. It's taking them forever just to start a fight, to rotate around, to get to Uprising Academy. It's Luke Mino's rally. Redbird says we don't need to get to you, we need to get to this car.
That's a good set of mines. Woohoo! That was a nice set of mines. There's no coming back from that.
In half, as Redbird, they'll be pushing point A.
And it all comes back
Do a bit of gaming song saying, yeah, they're all around. Big Easter, thank you for the 3 months. Pogu, 2 sup.
but unfortunately it doesn't exist.
2 sup Custa? What does 2 sup mean?
Move on to point B here.
Did I just walk into a 2 sup these nuts joke?
On point A. 3 minutes of a time.
Oh, 3 subs. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for the 3 months.
Through 66 if you get stopped. It's basically momentum or stuck in the bog. You need to be able to get control of it.
2 sub these nuts.
Basically deny it away from Victoria. If they can get on top of the high side and just stay there forever, you're gonna have so many problems.
Now Redbird can use this high side building as a grapple
I
spot.
should have. Oh, simple was there and then not.
Hydron finishes off one. Victoria gone away because of Reiner. And Redbird have a 6 versus 4, so the rest of Uprising are just trying to die on the car and see if they can force one last fight before B.
That one last fight is going to be difficult, though, Lemon. They're going to have to come through narrow choke points, and that means a lot of damage from sticky bombs. Potentially even easier for Iron to catch people on the car with this self-destruct, forcing a no-win situation where they must contest, but they must also face down a
Does Junji still do contenders? I actually don't know that.
scout. And Reiner's going to be there ready to get a pile drive when the squishy.
Has anyone played Raiden shit scans? No.
I think it's Sam's gonna try.
There hasn't been like any double shield or anything like that.
Hold a pulse into the tiny room they've discovered.
It's been all respectable dive, which I like.
Violet, but patient enough to not use the Transcendence, but Ultraviolet has to now. He's getting pounded by Itzel in the pile drive, but Ultraviolet still remains resilient. Can't say the same for Uprising, and mainly Simple use the Transcendence early, but the spite is not turning this in their favor. Redbird are stopping
Custa,
them
one
from
of the most
chokes,
entertaining and
they managed to
informative
force
people
away
in the AO
and
scene.
get point B out of it.
Most people struggle to be even one of those.
Yo, thank you very much for the dollars, Prime. I appreciate the message. I'm just vibing, dude. Just vibing, enjoying some Overwatch. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
They have a pulse from in their back pocket and a Transcendence as well. They can convert this so well. Stella and Victoria, they've gone into panic mode. The Tracer and the Sombra together. They want to get rid of
Okay, Sombra back.
as possible or
Oh,
potentially
Hydron.
shut down Reiner. A great start is to win that Tracer duel against Hydron, though.
Redbird are
Do players see the contender skins? No. Everything looks default like the red and blue like you would see in a normal game. Same thing in our.
And if you can hack Reiner while he's engaging, that could be a good retaliation for Uprising Academy. And a win
Anyway, fuck you, Custa. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Fuck you.
But it's rally to rally. The mines from Itzel and Redbird are the time, but it's rally to rally. The mines condition if you build up towards the EMP in time. But it's
I think he sticks the shield from the back. And then he drops it.
rally.
I think that has to be what happened, right? I think he has to have stuck the shield from the back. And then he drops it. That's very unlucky. Because it just like drops on the floor.
Itzel cutting off the path of Redbird as Hydron chases these supports. And Redbird are just getting a ton of space. They are owning Mega Pack side. They have control of cart. Well, QQ was contesting. Now Redbird are looking down the barrel of the final fight for C.
It's our very limited value off the back of
What team was Reiner and QOQ before? Reiner was on, I don't know which team Reiner was on. He was on a contenders team, but QOQ was on Seoul? Reiner was on AT, right? Because I feel like Reiner's changed his name. Spark? Spark, that's right. QOQ was on Spark.
more in their back pocket. Gonna hang out cheekily back.
I feel like I've like mixed up the AT tanks because they've like changed names. It was like Cucumber and Shape, or are they the same person? I don't know. They're like, I've like mixed it up like so many times. I feel like I think of these two different people and they're the same person, just with different names.
Puts it on the card, so Redbird have some points.
Rhino was Frill. Rhino was Frill. Cucumber Shape.
Simple, and you don't have QOQ
No, Ryan used to be. As I said, I'm lost in the source. I don't 100% know. You'd have to ask someone else.
Hydron wasn't even hacked, but he couldn't blink away in time.
Shape is Frill is Reiner. Cucumber is Kalush. Okay. They got it. You guys got to choose a name and run with it.
But Hydron's just trying to dodge Victoria on the other side, or maybe help with these supports, because Luke Mino is gone. Ultraviolence Transcendence is no longer in use, so Redbird might be running out of wind in these sails.
They're running out of friends, they're running out of abilities. Lemon Victoria takes down Sam, but they're going to be taken down by Hydron, who's activated for but a moment before Stella turns off the light. A flick of the wrist, and Redbird. That took so long, Lemon, but despite...
New star tanks emerge, will be good on like most tanks, yeah. But I think the most important thing to remember going into Overwatch 2 is that tank play, it might be completely different, right? Like, I think right now I feel like tanks are very create spacey. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's gonna be how they're gonna work in Overwatch 2, because I feel like they're gonna be too exposed. So I don't know if it's gonna be as much taking spacey and more like... I feel like tanks are gonna be like very flanky. I don't know why I believe this, but I feel like tanks are going to be a lot more just like self-isolated and playing their own game. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how tanks play out in Overwatch 2. Because it's going to be very different because you don't have the support of another tank. So you're not going to be able to play the same way. It's a big pick by Ultraviolet.
Soon and Stellar could save the day, but Redbird, they want to push their advantage. They've killed 3. Stellar's still coming out of spawn.
Even better only. Right now, the 2 tanks I think that would be really good in 5v5 would be Roadhog and D.Va. C9? That's a big rally. That's an enormous rally. That's a big Transcendence. If Ultraviolet needs to get to this Transcendence. Oh, he gets to it. Oh, he got whipped. On the throw. Oh, Sam on the Cree. Thank you very much for money. Big clutch with 100 bits. Custa, have you ever thought of getting players to come on the stream and talk about the VODs with you? Especially Contenders players, because I'm sure they're eager to become more well-known. I have thought about it, but... I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm just... Maybe I'm just socially awkward in the fact that, like, I feel like no one gives a shit about my stream. Like, players don't give a shit about my stream and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I'm just like vibing and talking about stuff. Well, I feel like I'd have to be a lot more formal and back and forth if I did this kind of stuff. It would obviously be a lot better of content, and like Platchat does a lot of those collaborations and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Of Route 66, Redbird on the defense. They trust in the Sam Echo once more. And there's no reason to not do so.
Like I feel like if I brought in a guest, my style of how we like VOD review would be completely different, because I can't just stop and talk about random shit and like that kind of stuff, or like completely zone out. I feel like I'd have to be like hyper focused and stuff like that.
Victoria and Stella, they've returned to this speedy dive. The Sombra and the Tracer. No more Stella Tracer clutch shenanigans. This is a more theoretical comp. It's all in the thinking, all in the setup.
Already a quick fight from Uprising.
Less tangents if you had a guess, yeah, and that's sort of it, right? It's not that I don't like... I love talking to players and I love getting their insight, because I feel like I say so much shit and then I talk to someone and like I remember, so for the grand finals, this most recent grand finals for Al, I was talking to Space. I actually watched the grand finals with Space because he was on the pre-show with us talking about the Overwatch 2, and he actually just like hung around and watched the finals with us. It was awesome talking to Space again. But like it was funny because I got to like ask him a bunch of questions about like the gladiators or the teams and the meta and that kind of stuff, and it's really interesting getting some insight. Like sometimes he was just like, nah, that's just not what it's like at all, or like, no, that's just wrong and stuff. So
then an echo, but Pack, at least on the mini side, is hacked by Stellar. Still trying to get control of the Mega One below.
I think it'd be cool to maybe play Overwatch with players and talk with them and then upload that. Yeah, but then you're playing ranked. I don't know. I've thought about doing content, like collaboration content. It would obviously I think it would do very well.
Alright, the pack is controlled now. That means Ryan has got...
I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will do it at some point.
It's getting out of dodge really quickly. Just wants to make people look away from Victoria.
Now Redbird are playing so clumped right now that you have to be careful. If you make any mistake, Hydron will go and chase you down and execute. He's killed both DPS. And he's going after it.
Get Super on the stream, big numbers. I also have problems with that. Like, I don't want to invite Super to come on my stream because that is like... Obviously, that's better for me than it is for him. And then I don't want to put him in the position to say no as well or something like that. I don't know. As I said, I'm just vibing. I'm just having a fun time talking about the thing. If a player ever wants to come in and chat or like defend themselves or justify things, like reach out. I'm always available.
Uprising getting close to
Just have Matt on every week. I could not think of anything worse. All Matt would do was just insult everyone.
for Victoria. Oh, barely hits those supports.
And by everyone, I mean me.
And Sam duplicates that diva. You have
And himself at the same time. It's the Matt way.
and Sam is gonna wave goodbye because he has to self-destruct those supports.
Yeet. Oh, goodbye, supports. Protect and brig. Nice.
And the shield comes up. Fixa is good for now. Starts the rally. Says, "Simple, come with me. I'll protect you, boy." And he goes towards it, Sal. And well, there's only 3.
This has been a good hold by Redbird. EMP was not good enough. Like, they need, like, I feel like this EMP, they're like, everyone has so much armor. Look at how safe it feels like the Redbird is. No, maybe they didn't have as much armor, it's just Ultraviolet. But, like, Ultraviolet's the main one they need to kill, right?
Are now using Transcendence. They've used 4, maybe 5 ults this fight. It's not a decisive.
Oh, Ultraviolet gets the kill on the Fixer as well. Like, Ultraviolet can just Transcendence whenever. Yeah, boom. That's a great Transcendence. Boom, hit the mines. Such. Oh, Ultraviolet. Time to hit the brakes. Ultraviolet has no chill. Yeah, well, that is just utter faith in your teammates to follow you, right, and protect you. Like, that was anything else. Like, that was suicidal. But he believes in his team to follow him, and that's important.
To remain alive in this year of Contenders now.
1 minute remains.
I had no idea, Anto.
Academy do not.
Peace out, Maxon. Thanks for hanging out.
Again. That would be the end of the series. It's a self-destruct on top of Big Earls, and Ultraviolet tried to drop on the backside, but it was still in range of the bomb.
This is a good bomb. Goodbye, Sam.
To finish off Luke Mino. You have no supports if you're the defense. Uprising Academy. You just have to
Iron's gonna drop it.
Okay, maybe dodge the self-destruct real quick. No issue.
He got back in mech.
To the left side, go back to the cart, chasing down Hydron.
This feels like a very all for naught kind of moment.
And that's an easy job for someone like Victoria.
There's no way Redbird wins this.
We'll be capping A.
I said it need a miracle, and the big E on the
Yeah, they need an enormous miracle. Yeah, no.
connection and the extension of the time.
UV reminds me of Violet. Funny enough, yeah, I can see that.
Long it took Redbird to do it. But there seems
Ultraviolet is a better Zen than 99% of our Zens. Okay, you know, I'm as big of an Ultraviolet fan as the next, you know? That guy's absolutely fucking pounded me in ranked. The dude is nuts and the dude deserves to be an owl. But that is 99% of the league. Come on. Come on. That means that you think there's probably only one Zen better than him in the league. And fucking, we got Jonak, we got Alarm, we got Izayaki, we got Fielder, we got fucking god tier players in the league. We got a lot of great flex supports in the league. And you're going to say that about a player who has never played against any of those teams or players in a match? Come on. Come on. Just because he can do it in Contenders doesn't mean he can do it in OWL. I want to say, hey, he goes to OWL and he pounds. I'll definitely give him the credit, but you gotta let him get into OWL first, and he's gonna get there. Like if he's not in OWL, later Victoria, if he's not in OWL next year, like going into next season, that'd be criminal. He's gonna be there, but
2.5 minutes. Uprising Academy have a big win condition off this EMP, and they'll just catch Ultraviolet, you know, just in case. But the tank's affected. Maybe they know. Yeah, no Ultraviolet, but he just gets the Transcendence now, but QQ finishes him off. So there's no stabilizing Redbird because Luke Mino is dead too. These healers have been dying first. 2 fights in a row, and this is really good focus fire from Victoria and Stellar.
Nice play.
But they aren't.
Isn't he going to Atlanta? That's the rumor. Obviously, we have nice chance. That's the rumor. We haven't been confirmed. It feels like Nero, OG, and Ultraviolet have been kind of trolling a little bit. So it seems likely that is true in some capacity. Worried about main support dying as a role? It's an important role. It's not going to die. It's just main support is a very thankless job and a very different job to you don't really shoot anyone and stuff like that. So especially with Lucio becoming less prominent, a lot of people don't want to play it as much. We didn't even mention Myunbong, Crimzo, Gangnam Jin, and those flex support players. Yeah, like, as I said, there are a lot of great players in Contenders. There's a lot of great players who have gone from Contenders to Owl and proven that they can hang with the big boys and that they can absolutely pound it. But I think it's bizarre that you can watch someone in Contenders and say they're better than our players when they've never performed in the Overwatch League. Like, playing against Contenders teams and playing against Overwatch League teams are completely different. It's a next step above. And these players have proven, all the players in this match have proven that they are good enough to probably play at that level. But then saying that they're the best in their role in the world, I think is hard. And I think that's a stretch. And you got to be careful about saying that kind of stuff, because it, like, you want to know the last time that people hyped up a team or players? Fucking the London Spitfire from this year. Everyone was like, British Hurricanes is better than everyone else in Contenders. They're going to come in and they're going to dominate the league like Runaway did. And they went 1-15. They barely won a match. You got to be careful about saying that. People said the same thing about some of those players, right? They're like, oh, these players are like some of the best. And some of them got clowned on. And that's nothing against those players or those teams. I think it was like, people were like coming at me when I did my power rankings, when I put London in the bottom tier. So much that I actually moved up. I'm like, hey, maybe these guys know something I don't. So I moved them up, and then people were so much on that hopium of the British Hurricanes that they weren't putting realistic expectations. And that's hard for the player as well, and the players in the teams. It's hard for them to live up to those expectations. Don't you think that's because Runaway plays Korea? Well, Runaway also had incredible players across the board. Like, they were like one out of 5 teams in Contenders that were just like incredible, and they would have been able, they came into our and dominated. But that doesn't mean every Contenders team that like wins is able to do the same thing. And like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but you say, oh, isn't that because they're in Korea? Like, you know, this is NA. Like, NA is above EU in my opinion, but it is still not Korea. So, you know, let the players make the statement when they get into the league, like, and they will.
Uprising. They have 5 members on this cart, and they're meters away from B.
Nothing's done while Hydron's still alive. I've cast too many NA games to know this, Lemon. Hydron manages to get in there, but is afflicted with the Discord orb. They can't stay.
They don't have the ults to do it.
And there's the completion. 2 minutes added. Uprising Academy refused.
Even at the beginning, the Dallas Fuel and Soul would win, yeah.
Continue to push on forward. Sam's going to be staggered. Doesn't matter that much.
Australia Contenders high skill. Obviously. We've got to get some more Aussies in here.
Seconds. Redbird need to figure out what they want to do on this point C defense.
When I say these players bad, they just need to prove themselves at the highest level. Yeah, like it's not like, maybe he is, but I think you can't make that statement. Like, maybe he is not. He is in the top 3 Zens in the world. Like Ultraviolet, maybe he is that good. But until he plays against the top 20 teams in the world, or, well, let's not say 20, the top 15 teams in the world, you can't make that statement.
If you care about moving Redbird from that left mega pack side, that's really who is pulling the trigger first. You got some free.
Oh, good pulse by Hydron.
Pulse bomb on your head if you're simple. You're not happy.
Australia Contenders is the most fun to watch. Well, didn't they do a Torb Hammer 1v1 to decide a series one time? Australian Contenders just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, they're dying in a room because Redbird pushed the advantage off of that simple pick, and Redbird hold for now.
Uprising Academy, they stay around so long, Lemon, hoping that Redbird will overextend and give away free picks. But when you've only got 2 minutes on the clock...
So today I learned I need to watch more Aussie tendies.
They all get staggered, and now their 2 minutes has been cut in half. They do have 6 ultimates to play with, but they can't afford to use them all.
The mines from Itzal all over that high ground forces Redbird back. They get hit by an EMP.
No. Hi, Uprising, I see you.
Self-destruct. Everyone better clear away. I think he's the last one for Redbird.
It's a good EMP. Redbird has good ults for this though. Like, they can just walk out, play aggressive with the Diva Bomb and the copy, and then if they need it, just pop the Transcendence, and by the end of the Transcendence, they'll have the rally. So, like, they should be in a pretty good spot, but they need to get Simple's Transcendence out early. Like, they need to, if they're going to use their Transcendence, they need to trade, at least. But ideally, Sam can get the Transcendence out on his own.
It needs to be huge from Victoria. It needs to be huge from QOQ.
It's a big ult from Sam, too. Can get a duplicate, get that self-destruct. There's not a lot of hiding.
Hydron goes down.
Away.
Okay, so they're going to rally first. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you take that. You get the rally first, and then you get the Transcendence.
It's a long journey here. It's a
This is a hard fight for Uprising Academy to win. They really need to have more follow-up on some of these bombs. I feel like so many of these bombs have just been blocked by a brig. I feel like there needs to be more people like showing up to make it work. Oh, there we go.
Clear the way, Uprising from the side. As Uprising go back towards the cart, it's a tanks left. QQ is dead. Hydron with the finish. The best tracer in North America stands tall, and so does Redbird as they soar high as your champions once again of North America.
And so it.
There it is. There it is. Redbird Esports gets the win over Uprising Academy. I think Redbird was the better team. Even like they even showed that they can match on the Briggs End Wrecking Ball comps, and they played it really well. As I said throughout the entire VOD review, these players, honestly, all 12 of these players should be at least in consideration for a lot of our teams with how much rebuilding is going on. Obviously, Uprising Academy is more Korean players, so that's going to be looking more towards the east to pick up some of those players. I think, unfortunately, there's a wealth of players in Korea that have already like seem to be getting looked at. Redbird Esports, I wouldn't be surprised if you see almost all 6 of these players get contracts in some way or another. I don't know. I think all are 18 because it's a college team, as you said. So hopefully they're all eligible and we get to see some of these guys play in the league because they deserve it. You know, we're not going to go as far as to say that they're going to be the best players or the best team in the league, but they will definitely be showing strong performances. So hopefully we get to see that. It was good to see the match. I think Redbird, you know, just head and shoulders above everyone else. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you found it insightful. Hopefully not too many tangents. We will be doing the Korean Contenders finals as well, which has a bunch of players that are also in heavy consideration in the East, right? Like when I'm talking about these Uprising Academy players, there's a lot of talent in Korean Contenders as well that it's like, it's hard to trump that, right? So hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys have a great night. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. If there's anything that you want to see, any teams you want to see, let me know. Love you all. Peace out. And I'll see you guys next time.